Hey, Romeo, you want a treat? 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 Go get it! Psych!
Note the offense shifts to the right side for this play. And the ball is snapped. Quarterback fakes a throw, left hands off right, running back.
Psych! Alright, Romeo, come here. You want a treat? Come on, buddy. You want a treat? You want a treat, buddy? Oh. What the? Where did you get a gun, Romeo? Just take the Oh my God! Oh God! Oh! You savage! Oh! Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you guys so much.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Hopefully you guys all doing well out there. Hope the show finds you in great spirits because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that, y'all. Okay, just so y'all know. Don't forget that. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, baby. We're going to talk about that in a second, but hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. Hopefully you guys are all doing well and enjoying your day. Like I said, happiest of Thursday. It's Thursday. Why does it feel like a Monday? It feels like a Monday, y'all, but it's Thursday, y'all. These weeks have been long for me, man. I'm sorry. Has it been long for you? Or am I the only one who feels like it's just been long? Like it's been hella long. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's Thursday nonetheless. Thank God it's Thursday. We got one more day until the weekend, and it's a long weekend, which I'm really looking forward to. You know, some R&R. As long as no craziness goes off in these streets, we should be good to go, right? As long as no crazy stuff goes off in these streets, we should be good to go. But that's another conversation in itself, right? Anyway, guys, we got a lot to talk about. It's going to be a multi-tiered, multi-realm show. We're going to Lord of the Rings it today as well, because there's a lot going on in the world. And it seems like you guys are enjoying the cornucopia of news. But there's some big things that we are going to be talking about, some major things throughout the show, okay? We got some D4vd conversation we are definitely going to get into. We got some updates with this Ebola virus thing, okay? And then there's a slew of other things going on, so we've got to get into it. So please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush and do it a do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. And if you are watching on these other platforms, like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, make sure you hit that follow button. Follow. Also, subscribe here on my YouTube channel, right here. Okay? Right here on my YouTube channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there as well. Make sure you're subscribed. Dagnabbit! Can't tell you guys enough. There's so much going on, and sometimes you guys can't watch the whole show. So I'm trying to give you pieces of it on the second channel. Get all the hits right over there on the Pascal Show Clips. So go and subscribe over there. Hit that notification bell on both platforms so you know, on both the Pascal Show and the Pascal Show Clips. And set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it is random. It is. It just is. Sorry. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Support the channel. Become a member of the family. Please and thank you. If you want to support even further, check out my Patreon. It's in the ticker going across the bottom of the screen right now as we speak. Or if you want to support even further, go check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys. Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Okay, we got a lot to get into. It's going to be a cornucopia of multitudes of different conversations. We will be talking about D4vd in just a little bit. But I want to say this, okay? Hopefully you enjoyed the skit in the very, very beginning of the show. It is pinned, or it's not. I lie. Hold on, let me just make sure I put that in. Pin it this time to the top or the bottom of the chat. Okay, please and thank you. Please go check it out if it made you laugh. I did a short formatted version of it. So you can watch it on your phone with ease, all that stuff. So please go. It's vertical. That's what I'm basically saying. So please go share it. You know what I mean? If it made you laugh, if the Popeye skit that I made and put up yesterday made you laugh, by all means, please share them. Okay, share the wealth, love. Okay, share the wealth if you can. And I also want to say this: no dogs were hurt in the making of that skit. I just want to make that abundantly clear. And he definitely Romeo got a whole lot of treats afterwards. And yeah, he eating good in the neighborhood. Okay, he eating real good. Okay, unlike me trying to get through the drive-through of Popeyes. You know what I'm saying? That I always end up empty-handed when it comes to the Popeye stuff. Okay, but just so you know, go check it out. Share it if you can. All right. But, we're putting out stuff. Okay. We're putting out skits. We're putting out things. And that is actually my dog. Yeah. That's one of my dogs. Because it made me think, somebody was like, how many dogs you got, man? And I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, I got a dog. And he was in a skit. He did a great job. You know what I'm saying? So his name is Romeo, my little dog. Okay. I mean, he's like the fun vacuum. He sucks the fun out of anything. If we're laughing and having a great time, he's the one just like going off. You know what I mean? He's about everything. You know what I'm saying? But he's getting old, so he's just a grumpy old dog now. But like I said, yeah, I got some good dogs. Okay. Yeah. No. The other dogs, I got other dogs, and they're a little bit bigger. They're a little bit bigger than Romeo. Romeo's smaller. I think the smallest one out of the four. Like I told you guys before, I have 4 dogs. Okay. So yeah, he's the tiniest one out of the 4. Anyway, he's a good dog. He was my first dog. First dog ever, a rescue, by the way. And yeah, his name was already named Romeo. So don't get at me like, what do you call your dog Romeo, bro? No, the dog's name was Romeo. I'm not about to be like, I shall name thee Spike. I'm not going to do that. He's already identified as Romeo. So why would I mess him up? That's an identity crisis inside that dog. You understand the inner monologue within that dog would be so messed up? Okay. He's already dealing with attachment issues and abandonment issues. The last thing you need to have is the dog going, wait a second, I thought my name was Romeo. The fuck? Who's Spike? Well, this big guy who apparently looks like he's my owner. He's feeding me right now. He called me Spike. What is this Spike? Who's Spike? Spike? Anywhere? No one? Who's Spike? Are you talking to me? Because, sir, I am a proud Romeo. And I stand by that, sir. So I'm not about to, have him go through an identity crisis. You understand? That's messed up. That's really messed up. So we kept with the name. I think it's a beautiful name. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful name. Strong. Canine name. You know what I'm saying? Just saying that out loud. All right. So if you enjoyed the skit, it's pinned to the bottom of the chat. I hate that they do the bottom of the chat, but it is what it is, okay? So go over there, click on it, share with your friends, rewatch it, blah, blah, blah. Laugh your butt off, whatever. Comment, like, all that, because more skits are coming, okay? More skits are coming. Like I told you guys before, you want to know something? I just want to say this too. This is a big thank you to you guys too. Because here's the thing. If you guys weren't showing love, okay, let me get this subscribe button down. If you guys weren't going off and reacting and commenting and watching them, I wouldn't do them. You see what I'm saying? So you guys are out there giving me the courage to actually do more. You know what I'm saying? more skits, come up with more ideas and all that too. So I just wanted to say a big thank you to you guys, because if you guys aren't watching it, then I'm not going to do it. You see what I'm saying? This is a waste of time. I got other things to do. You know what I'm saying? Like staying in a drive-through, trying to get some 3-piece doc. You know what I'm saying? And a damn Popeyes. You feel me? Coming up with better dog names other than just Spike. You see what I'm saying? Like, I got things to do in my life. So, but again, thank you guys for tuning in and watching the stuff. Okay? I appreciate it. More coming, because it's, you know, I got a crazy mind. You guys already know that, though. Now I'm just putting it in skit form. So, again, thank you. Watch it, share it, consume it, all that stuff. Okay? So we got to get into this conversation. There's a lot going on right now, and it's absolutely knuckin' futs, okay? Remember how we talked about that there was an Ebola outbreak in Congo and in Uganda? Well, apparently there's something else going on with a Detroit-bound flight that had to get diverted to Canada, of all places. Why did they send it to Canada, baby? Why did Canada get the slim pickings? I'm kind of curious about that, okay? But this was a flight on its way to Detroit, and it got diverted to Canada after apparently a passenger that came from the Congo boarded that plane. And in air quotes, I'm just going to give you air quotes, in error. They're saying in error. They made a mistake, and they let this individual get on this mother-loving plane. Now, let me just make this abundantly clear. We already had problems, and we were already having concerns over the hantavirus. Now we're going to go and deal with all this BS all over again with the Ebola. And this mother lover, if this person is indeed sick and has been infected with the Ebola virus, now they've been put into a plane, which is basically a flying petri dish, hurled into the air, recycled air with all those individuals in the freaking plane that could also potentially be infected by this situation. You realize how dumb that is? Yeah, no, Canada is way too close to anyone, Tanya, in the D. It's bad all around, y'all. Do you understand? It's the dun-dun-dun. Do you understand? This is bad. This is really, 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 really bad. And, you know, you can get it through human fluid. So if somebody sneezes, if somebody spits, pees, sweats, skadooshes, whatever it is, it can actually get other people sick. Do you understand? It's not good. This is not good. Yeah, if somebody lets out a very wet fart, I mean, that's bad, y'all. In the damn plane, too. And you ain't going to know who it is because the plane's going to be so loud, somebody could just be blasting ass and you might not know. You won't hear it. It's so damn loud in those planes. You understand? Now, I don't know why we're talking about sharding, but at the same time, you see what I'm saying? Yes, I said skadooshes. What of it? Okay? Let's get into this conversation. So, Detroit-bound flight diverted to Canada after Congolese, hopefully I'm saying that correct, passenger boarded, quote-unquote, in error. How do you make that mistake? You got the outbreak's going on in Congo. So how did this particular person get on the plane and then you go, oh, my bad. I didn't realize he was not supposed to be on the plane. Oh, damn. Like, how do you understand how dumb that is? How is that a mistake? How do you even make that mother-loving mistake? Do you understand? All right, I'm getting blood pressure going up. We gonna continue, okay? So an Air France flight, so they're like, hey, chocolat bleu, le léo, les fromages, les enfants. on this plane. Okay? Crazy, right? So an Air France flight bound for Detroit was redirected to Canada after a passenger from Congo boarded the mother-loving plane in error amid this whole Ebola outbreak. Can you just shut off everybody from Congo? I mean, I feel like that's the best idea. Hundreds of people are sick right now. Hundreds of people have died from this Ebola virus, and it's not slowing down. You let this particular individual from Congo get on the plane, and I'm not trying to discriminate, okay? I'm not. I'm just saying there's a full-on deadly virus flying around in Congo, in the Congo right now as we speak, and you put somebody from Congo on a mother-loving plane to fly across international waters. Do you understand how dumb that is? Yeah, come on now. Moving on. A U.S. Customs and Border Protection spokesperson agency said the agency took decisive action by prohibiting the flight from landing at Detroit Metropolitan Wayne County Airport. Oh! Brilliant. Good on you. Good job, son. Good eye, young lad. That doesn't make sense. Decisive action. The deal is already done. Do you understand? You put that person on the plane, like I said, whether or not this person has the virus or not, you still had this person on the plane, so the damage is already done. Okay. Due to entry restrictions put in place to reduce the risk of the Ebola virus, the passengers should not have boarded the mother-loving plane. I feel like the CPB spokesperson should have said mother-loving plane, like should have said it the exact same way I said it, with that much gumption and passion, because this is dumb. This is ridiculous. Montreal Trudeau International Airport directed request for comment to Air France, which confirmed that the flight 378 was diverted, quote unquote, at the request of U.S. authorities after it departed Paris on Wednesday, landing in Montreal shortly after 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There was no medical emergency on board, and like all airlines, Air France is required to comply with the entry requirements of the countries it serves. This is what a spokesperson for Air France said in a statement. So the CDC announced Monday that the U.S. will restrict entry for people without U.S. passports who were in Congo, Sudan, South Sudan, or Uganda in the last 3 weeks. The restriction is in effect for the next 30 days. Now, in a notice submitted to the Federal Register published Thursday, CPB and the Department of Homeland Security announced new arrival restrictions directing all flights to the U.S. with passengers who have recently traveled to Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan to land at Washington Dulles International Airport in Virginia. Let's take a look at this. That is a yellow suit. Have mercy. Okay, he is happy today. That's sharp. It's sharp. But damn, is it yellow. And now I want to eat a banana. Crazy.
We are going to begin with breaking news overnight on the Ebola virus. We learned that an Air France flight from Paris to Detroit was forced to divert to Montreal, Canada. The reason? Officials said a passenger on board had recently traveled from an Ebola outbreak zone. Usher Qureshi is in Detroit with the latest on all of this and the questions it raises. Usher, good morning.
Good morning, Nate. Hundreds of passengers on that flight finally made it here to Detroit, landing just after 8 p.m. last night.
I mean, is he sick too? He kind of sounds sick too. Doesn't he? Doesn't he sound a little tiny bit sick? He shouldn't be. Nuh-uh.
Time after spending an anxiety-ridden hour-long wait on the tarmac in Montreal.
No one told us what was actually happening, just that U.S. authorities were diverting us to Montreal.
Deborah Mister was returning home with her partner on what she thought was a routine flight from Paris to the Motor City. But hours before landing, Air France Flight 378 was diverted to Montreal because a passenger from a country affected by the Ebola outbreak was on board.
They suddenly tell us that we are being diverted and they won't give you a reason. And you notice that all the flight attendants have masks on now.
U.S. Customs and Border.
I'm sorry. Oh, Lord have mercy. So they were like, nothing to worry about, everybody, but then they put the masks on. I'd be like, what's going on? Why are they wearing masks and we ain't got none? Why you, wait, hold on. Why you got it, but we ain't got none? And then they're like, yeah, we'll give it to you guys, but it'll be $15 a mask. That's what they do to us. Have you ever tried to get anything other than a bag of peanuts on a mother-loving plane? Have you ever had to try to buy something other than just water and soda on a mother-loving plane? They charge the hell out of everything. You want an extra pillow? That's going to be money. Oh, you want a blanket to cover yourself because you're feeling, ooh, so cold? That's going to cost money. So they're sitting there going, nothing to worry about, everybody. We're just diverting the plane to Canada. And then they're all wearing masks. You're not supposed to react in any kind of way. You're not supposed to be tripping balls because they're wearing masks and you ain't. I'd be asking all kinds of questions. Excuse me. Yeah, you, come here. Why y'all wearing masks? And we ain't got none. So, okay. So there might be somebody sick with the Ebola virus, but you guys have the mask, but we ain't got none. Can we get, you're going to charge us for that. Ain't that, I'm just saying, that's stupid. Nothing to worry about. We're going to divert the plane. And then everyone starts showing up in masks. I'm sorry. You can't make this up. Okay, I'm done. You just can't make that up. Let's continue.
Border Protection says Air France allowed a passenger from the Democratic Republic of Congo to board in error, violating new entry restrictions designed to keep a deadly strain of Ebola from entering the U.S. It's unclear when the person was last in the Congo or if they were showing any symptoms.
There were some like older women that seemed to be getting very panicked. Captain came on again and said that he wanted to assure everyone that there wasn't anything wrong with the plane itself, that we were strictly being diverted because of the U.S. authorities not allowing us to land in the U.S.
An Ebola outbreak in eastern Congo was confirmed last week by the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. There are at least 600 suspected cases and 139 suspected deaths. According to the CDC, transmission is possible only if an infected person is showing symptoms.
Nothing was said other than sorry for the inconvenience, the diversion, and the delay. We can't just hand people we think are or could carry some disease to another country because we're not going to allow them in here. This can't be the way that these things are resolved.
In a statement, Air France said there was no medical emergency on board, and it is required to comply with the entry requirements of the countries that it serves. Now, the Department of Homeland Security says starting today, any foreign travelers who have been in Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan in the last 21 days will now have to fly into Washington Dulles Airport.
Usher Qureshi, thank you very much. For more, let's bring in CBS News medical correspondent Dr. Celine.
That is just absolutely, I feel like it's so sloppy for them to be like, because I get it. I get that that they don't want to cause absolute panic on board of the plane. I get that. But at the same time, it's like, you gotta let the people know what's going on. Because you're subject to possible lawsuits. Do you understand? Do you understand how many lawsuits they could be hit with right now? You didn't bother to tell us what was going on. There's a person that could also be very, very sick with a very deadly virus, and I could potentially be going home and giving that to my family. I'd be having a whole problem with that. And here's the other thing. They still don't know if that person is sick or not. They still don't know if that person has any symptoms. Sloppy work, y'all. Absolute sloppy work.
She is also the editor-at-large for Public Health at KFF Health News. Dr. Gounder, always good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. This seems like a moment where the public is going to be alarmed. A lot of passengers on. Are they at risk? And how should we evaluate this idea of diverting a flight and now sending flights to just one designated airport in the United States?
Well, in terms of that last piece, that is not dissimilar to what we did during the 2014-2016 outbreak. We actually had funneled not just to one airport, but I think it was 3 airports that we had funneled people into. So that was to facilitate screening once you got into the country. It wasn't to prevent flights or prevent passengers from coming here entirely. And the DRC is a huge country. It is the size of Western Europe. It's like saying, you know, Kinshasa is like Portugal, and then you have somebody out in Prague or Berlin at the other side of the country, which is where you have the outbreak. It really makes no sense, their approach here, without knowing more details as to what, if he had any exposures at all. But I think most importantly, this passenger, based on what we've been told, had no symptoms. And you cannot transmit Ebola. You cannot transmit at all if you do not have symptoms.
Okay, so that was my next question. How easily does it spread? And then also, if you're a passenger that was on this flight, should you be concerned? Should we be concerned if these passengers are flying all over the country?
Yeah. Well, so first of all, we had this travel ban instituted, so it's not going to be. And even before this Title 42, which is the public health related travel ban, we already had immigration restrictions. So, I mean, honestly, this is a little bit of hand waving because there wasn't much travel happening anyway.
Gotcha.
But that said, you know, how should people be worried about this? No, you're not going to catch Ebola from sitting next to somebody who doesn't have symptoms on the plane. And I think it was really sending the wrong message for the flight attendants to be masking up, because that's going to be scaring people unnecessarily. And you're not actually protecting yourself, because in this context, there's nothing to protect yourself from.
Isn't that crazy? So no matter what, even if they wore a mask, the damage would already be done if that person was sick with the Ebola virus, right? That it doesn't matter if they wore a mask. It would be pointless, because they're in a like I said, a petri dish. They're in an enclosed cylinder hurling through the air, and all they're doing is breathing in this recycled air. So no matter what, if that person coughed, sneezed, whatever, spat on somebody, anything, they could have still passed on that virus to everybody on that freaking plane. So again, yeah, it is kind of ridiculous for them to be like, I'm gonna mask up. I don't care, you know, and not let everybody know what the F was going on that plane. That's going to freak anybody out. That's going to freak everybody out. So that's sloppy work, if you ask me. But the damage would already been done, regardless if they had the masks on before, during, or even after. It's already a wrap, right? So that's absolutely insane. But that is really happening right now, which is absolutely crazy, if you ask me. It's absolutely crazy. Now, we got another thing we got to talk about. This is some pretty shocking stuff. Now, we haven't really dove into politics in a while. I mean, we still dabble every once in a while talking about things that are going on, and we react, quite viscerally on the show. And yes, we do kind of talk political. We do wax political on the show quite a bit, especially when there's mass tragedies going on, etc. Right? But something I can't not talk about this. We about to talk about Elon Musk's baby mama. So those of y'all who are sitting there going, "What? I don't understand the title, Pascal. What's a BM? What's BM? It's his baby mama. okay? It is the mother of one of his multiple children. He has like 13, 14, 17, 18, 19. I don't know how many kids he gets. 11 kids. She one of the baby mamas. She is one of the women who bore a child for Elon Musk. Yes, the multi-zillionaire who owns and runs Tesla and other things like X as well. Now, here's the thing. Something really crazy just happened that I think a lot of us are still kind of scratching our heads, because we got her, the baby mama, or, you know, the woman who bore his 7,000th child, who's claiming that the last election that we just saw between Kamala and Trump, she's claiming that this whole thing was stolen. I can't make that up. She's just nonchalantly doing makeup on camera going, I just don't want to lose I just want to keep my voice out there. And what I've learned is that, he was able to use lasers in space, and he knew about Trump winning the election hours before anybody else did. How does that happen? Because he used lasers in space. I just don't understand how he did, but I just don't want to lose my voice. So I just want to share this really quick while I put on makeup and talk about it and put it on my IG stories. What the hell is going on? What's going on? Damn it. Yeah, because we all knew. I'm sorry. Yeah, we kind of knew. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We gotta talk about this. I know some of y'all gonna be mad. I already know. Some of y'all gonna be angry. Some of y'all gonna be salty. Okay? Salty. But why would she all of a sudden out of nowhere say this stuff? Did the check not clear? You understand, this is also the same woman who was like trying to get crazy money, child support money, etc., for the baby that she bore for Elon. Okay. She got that money. She got that bread, baby. She got that bread, twin. You feel me? She got that bread. So why is she suddenly saying this now? Did the check not fully clear? Did she only get a skosh of the money? And then suddenly she's like, nah, son. I'm just about to blow this whole situation up. I'm about to just blow it all the way up. Right? I mean, that's kind of the vibe I'm seeing here. Maybe. Or she knows some information that we are now starting to finally say, yes, we've been known about the fishiness that's been going on between Elon and Trumpy Poo. We've been known. Some of y'all don't want to say it out loud, and that's fine. But it is weird. It is weird. Nonetheless. Now, I also want to make this abundantly clear, okay? This last election between Trump and Harris, he won. He definitely won. That's without question. I'm going to be real, okay? I don't think that part was going to change. But he definitely won tremendously. And I think that there's a part of that, like Elon, I feel like helped nudge the numbers a little bit further towards Trump again. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Trump was going to win no matter what. That was inevitable. But the fact that he won in such a massive fashion, I think that's one of the reasons why people are looking at this situation in such a way. Now, is she lying? Is she making this stuff up? I know a lot of people are side-eyeing the election. But like I said, I feel like inevitably he was going to win no matter what, y'all, in this past election. But it is interesting. Now you're hearing his baby mama coming out and just getting messy, spilling all the tea about this situation. So let's take a look at this. This is absolutely crazy. Okay. So she makes wild claims about his role, Elon Musk's involvement in the election. So Ashley St. Clair is her name. So she alluded to using she alluded to him using advanced technology in this past election, along with gaining sensitive information about voting. A source close to Elon adamantly denies the claims, though. So the former conservative commentator shared her tale on TikTok Monday, posting a get ready with me video on the app. Yeah, she's literally putting makeup on and talking nonchalantly about the possibility of Elon straight up rigging this situation here, which is crazy, okay? During which she explained Musk allegedly told her one night while they were alone that he had a bunch of lasers in space ready to help create an anomaly, in the Matrix. Remember that photo? Yay. Moving on. Ashley St. Clair, says she told Elon not to say more when he said the piece he was talking about shouldn't be on the proverbial chessboard because she didn't want to be deposed later on. So he never told her exactly what he meant by that comment. So she could just be straight up assuming here, right? She claims Elon sent her things like real-time data that she doesn't think he ever should have had access to, given to what she knows of political canvassing during campaign season. So St. Clair also says she remembers Elon bailing on her at Mar-a-Lago, okay, or Margot Robbie, on election night, texting her and saying he had to go because his team had numbers indicating that Donald Trump was going to win because his team has the best real-time data. This was hours before the world knew that Trump won. You understand that, right? Hours before. They were still counting votes. Votes were still coming in hours before they made the announcement that he won. Do you see what I'm saying? They already knew that he won. That's crazy. So Musk should have had real-time data. Shouldn't have had real-time data of a national election. And this is what she believes. All right, a big red flag in her eyes. So St. Clair answered a TikTok saying that she could take a boatload of hush money from Musk, but she won't take it because she's not motivated by self-interest. A source close to Elon told TMZ, "This is total nonsense. The laser sky thing is just three-dimensional chess. Is just a three-dimensional chess metaphor, which she just doesn't understand." Musk and St. Clair are in a nasty custody battle over their son Romulus, with Musk suing for custody after St. Clair walked back previous negative comments regarding the trans community. So, very, very interesting, right? Now, we, of course, have got to take a look at the video itself while she is doing makeup. Hi, everybody, get ready with me as I pull some crazy political conspiracy theory out my ass. Smoky eye, everybody. Yes, I'm using this. And I'm using this here too. Okay, right here. And I'm just put it on as I'm talking about the world being bamboozled. Just the wildest thing. Let's take a look at this.
And then October rolls around. And in October, Elon tells me that he is ready to release his, in his words, anomaly in the Matrix. And I am like, oh, like, who's that? And he says that he has 10,000 lasers in space, referring to his satellites. I say, because I am like rather uncomfortable and I know the gravity of what he's trying to tell me right now, I say, wow, finally a focus on the Jewish vote. He keeps going and he says, you know, this is not a piece that they'll see on the chessboard. And I straight up tell him, I say, I would ask more, but I really don't want to be deposed. To which he says, very wise. Shortly after that, you know, he's involved with America PAC and all of this other stuff, and he's sending me some internal data from America PAC, real-time Delta vote metrics. And I am just like, how the fuck do you have this sort of data? You don't get this from door knocking, because that was one of my first jobs in politics was in campaigns and cleaning up this bad data from door knocking, because the vendors that America PAC is using at this point is a vendor that hires Craigslist crackheads for door knocking, and I wish I was exaggerating there, but I'm not. I know, like, I have caused harm with my rhetoric. However, I never, like, sought out to cause harm. Like, there were parts of me that really wanted, like, the best for the country, for America, for democracy. And one thing is I have always, always hated big tech.
First off, let me just say this really quick. I feel like she's saying a lot of what a lot of people who voted, who were like hardcore Trump all day long, and now they're feeling some type of way. I feel like that's what she. you haven't noticed the MAGA walk back? You know what I'm saying? Like it should be a dance song. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the electric slide, but it's called the MAGA walk back. Have you not noticed that? There's so many people that are like, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I said some things in the past, and I'm not super proud of that. You know what I mean? But I found Christ. I found sobriety, and I found therapy. So, that was a bad move. Going with him. I said some crazy stuff. You know, we got a little crazy. You know, but now I learned from my mistake. My bad. Have you noticed that? It's the MAGA walk back. I don't know. It should be a song. It should be a song, a dance song. You know what I mean? Like, everybody clap your hands. You know what I mean? To the left now, y'all. To the right now, y'all. 2 hops. You know what I'm saying? Reverse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm waiting for that. A MAGA walk back. Sung by Marjorie Taylor Greene and Candace Owens. Oh, and let's not forget Tucker Carlson. You know what I'm saying? That will be a hit. Do you understand? Okay. Just something to think about. The MAGA walk back. Let's move on, though.
So then to have arguably the most powerful man in the world who is sending me things about, you know, using his space technology in the election.
Lasers.
I should also say that I have all of this backed up with many people with explicit instructions should anything happen to me, okay?
Fair enough.
But this was something that I
you can't make
was
this up.
Internally wrestling with while publicly not really showing that I was having any of these internal ethical conflicts with myself regarding this information. And then on election night itself, Elon, you know, left Mar-a-Lago early. I was at Mar-a-Lago, and he told me over text, he's like, yeah, I knew hours ago that Trump won. My team has the best real-time data anywhere. First of all, how the fuck do you have real-time data on elections?
I think that's weird.
How do you have real-time data?
I'd like to know that too. Okay, let's just keep it a bean. Does that make any sense to you? I'm sorry. Elon, of all people, knowing way before anyone else in the world just seems a little bit weird to me. Now, does that mean that this thing was rigged? Obviously, there's a part of a lot of us, not everybody, but there's a good portion of the world that is side-eyeing the situation, the elections. Let's be real. Some people are like, yeah, I could see that, something like that happening. But I really do think that he would have won no matter what. I'm sorry, guys. Regardless if it was rigged or not, I think he would have won this thing no matter what. But I think that they really just wanted to send it all the way home and really make sure that this election was gonna go his way. If this is true. Let me just say that again. If this is true, and that she's not misunderstanding something like space lasers, I don't know what that is, and so that's what I'm putting on everybody. So I don't know what that means exactly, but from my understanding, it seems like it's all rigged. He said space lasers, everybody. Space lasers. What the hell does that mean? That means that ish was rigged, girl. Like, I don't know. But to me, it's like, maybe it's a misunderstanding. Maybe it is a misunderstanding. Maybe it is something that's rigged. But if it is rigged, I wouldn't be surprised. You see what I'm saying? If it was rigged, I wouldn't be surprised. But I also do find it interesting that no one actually challenged it. Have you noticed that? Because, last time when he didn't win, Biden won, ice cream. Remember he won, right? And he was like, damn it, that was stolen from me. Right? It was rigged. Rigged, right? But then this time around, huge situation that happened, right? Huge election, massive red wave, and you didn't hear anyone you didn't hear Kamala go, excuse me, I'm still talking here. This whole thing was rigged. You didn't see her do that. You didn't see her do that at all. No one challenged this. They just said, oh, okay, red wave, cool. Everywhere, red wave everywhere. No big deal. Cool, let's move on. Ain't that wild? I just find that weird. Now, whether or not Kamala was fit to be the prez or not, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the election itself. And the fact that you have someone of the likes of Elon being able to have information way before anybody else did. I find that hours before it was announced that he actually won. I find that odd. I do find that odd. There's more to this. We're going to talk about it here in a second. Let's see her. Let's listen to her finish. But I do find it a little bit weird. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I find it odd.
I could not understand that. I don't know that I ever will. I saw some shit, guys. Like, I saw some shit, and
So then what is it that you saw? What ish did you see, girl? Just tell us that, man. Come on. You know what I'm saying? If you talk about space lasers and stuff and Elon and stuff, Mar-a-Lago, the Margot Robbies and stuff, why don't you just tell us what the hell it is?
Fighting really hard to keep my voice because I saw shit that impacts everyone. And if I was self-interested, I have been offered the self-interested deal to shut up and not talk about anything. But what I can tell you is I've not been offered certain deals just because I know that he's weird, okay? I saw some shit.
Oh, okay. You know what? I can relate because I've seen some stuff too. This morning after I had my coffee. Okay. I don't know. But you know what I mean? It's like, okay, word, you saw some things. It's like, I saw some things back in Nam. Like, what does this mean? Did the check clear or no? That's the thing I'd like to know. Because it doesn't make any sense that she's like, I seen some things. I seen it. Okay, you seen it. Then what is it exactly? Are you waiting for a book deal? Are you waiting for, I don't know, Oprah or Gail to call you to drop serious money so that they can have the exclusive interview with you about what you know? What is going on really here? Let me repeat that again. What's really going on here? That's what I meant. What's going on really here? That was some Yoda stuff, okay? What's going on really here? But you see what I'm saying? Something really strange is going on here. What's up with this? Why would she say that? Why would she say this out loud? What's really going on here? I guess we'll find out over time, right? Okay, so the moment that everybody's been waiting for. I know a lot of y'all are like, this clickbait. Where's the D4vd conversation, man? Okay, we're going to get into it, baby. Chill. We good. We good, homie. We going to get to it, twin. We going to get straight to it, homie. Okay, so here's the thing. There is a D4vd video that we are going to watch, all right? It's from this content creator by the name of Trap Lore Ross or Trap More Ross, if I'm correct. Hold on, let me get this, because I think he has several different YouTube channels, and the titles are different on all of them. Okay, but here's the thing: if this information is true, this is some pretty wild stuff. Because here's the thing. There are some very good questions being asked in this video right here. And I'm very, very happy that Ross, his name is Ross, okay? I'm very happy that Ross actually asked this question, because I never thought of it until he actually started talking about it. And I was like, damn, that's a good point. Damn it, you smart. I wish I thought of it myself. So for realsies, this is the reason why I'm pulling up his video, because honestly, I didn't want to do a deep dive, because I was starting to feel like that would have been just copying what he did, and he does it so well in this video. So I was like, you know what? Nah, we just gonna look at it and we just gonna react to what he is giving out here. So Trap More Ross is this YouTube channel. He's got a massive following, by the way. So shout out to Trap More Ross for this video. But here's the thing. What's very interesting about this video is he talks about something that, like I said, I wish I thought about before. He mentions and talks about a member on Discord that was exposing D4vd way before he was even arrested, way before any of this stuff even went down. He was exposing D4vd for the actual monster he is, saying out loud for a very long time. In fact, before she was even found, before Celeste, God rest her soul, before Celeste Rivas was found decaying in the front trunk of his Tesla, this guy, this particular person, was chatting all over Discord saying, yo, he's with an underage girl. He is with somebody he should not be with. In fact, there's one moment which we're going to be seeing here, but I'm going to say it anyway. David apparently was like online somewhere, basically saying, like, I guess it was on his Discord. And he was saying on his Discord, like, oh, you know, I need some more inspiration for music. And this particular individual said in the chat, hey, how about you talk about Celeste Rivas Hernandez and how you're dating an underage girl? This is way before she lost her life, way before she was found in his Tesla, way before he even got arrested. So some pretty insane and shocking stuff here, right? Ponzalo, all right? So I find that very interesting that we heard from another guy on TikTok. He did a TikTok and he was like, remember, there was a guy who was like saying, hey, I put out this video a long time ago and no one gave a damn about it. And I was talking about Deorvida, and I was talking about the fact that he was with a girl, a young aged individual by the name of Celeste. I was talking about it and no one cared about it, right? And he talked about Ponzalo, this chatter that was on Discord, right? Saying these things, exposing David and saying like, you PDF file, you a dirty mother loving, you with Celeste and you shouldn't be, so on and so forth, right? No one cared about that video until she was actually found. And then of course the true crime heads and all that were going crazy, right? Asking all kinds of questions and all that, okay? So nonetheless, who is Ponzalo? Who the hell is this Ponzalo guy? You see what I'm saying? Who is Ponzalo? And will we ever get an answer on that? Because it doesn't make any earthly sense that he would know everything years before she went missing, when she finally went missing, years before her death, years before her being found in this Tesla. There was somebody online saying these things. And no, it wasn't her brother. It wasn't Celeste Rivas's brother. So who is it? Is this her friend from school that, one of the people that was blackmailing Deorvida? Or no? What's really going on here? Because I get it that there's going to be other people, right, that are savvy to the situation, know about her, that people from her school, when she disappears, people start talking, right? When she keeps running away and they're like, hey, where's she at? And there's like, yo, go online and you'll see her. She's right there with Deorvida. You don't see her with Deorvida right there? You don't know about all that? She right there with Deorvida, baby. You don't see it? Of course there's going to be somebody who would jump on to an online account somewhere, especially when somebody is becoming so popular and becoming successful over time. You don't think somebody's going to slide into a Discord or a chat forum and basically say like, I know this mother loving, he you know what I mean? And expose them, especially when they're dating in plain sight someone they should not be dating in the first doggone place? Yeah, maybe another Easter. Yeah, maybe it's another victim. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, Vlad just said Ponzalo is someone Deorvida had beef with because Ponzalo wanted to expose Deorvida. That's what it sounds like to me. You see what I'm saying? Ponzalo. Sorry about that. Ponzalo. But again, like I said, so it's very interesting. And this guy, Ross, popped up a very good question. Who the F is this dude or this person? Who is this person who's been saying for a while, way before she even went officially missing, saying and exposing what David and what Deorvida truly is, which is a mother-loving monster? How do they know? And who the hell's this person? So let's take a listen to some of this, okay? And he does a great job. This is a great breakdown, but I am going to speed it up just a little bit so we can cover a lot here, okay? Let us rock and roll.
Feel like they can come and speak out. They haven't been heard from in quite a long time, but I do hope, if on the off chance the person I'm talking about in this video sees this video, please reach out, all right? Please, if you're willing to talk, I'd love to know your story. I'd love to know how you knew that David was messing with minors all those years ago. And I would love to know why you exposed him, why you kept posting all these posts suggesting that David was messing with minors, and why you stopped. What happened? Where you gone? So I'm talking, of course, about Ponzalo. So there's a bunch of posts I'm going to show you in this video, okay? Which says they tried and no one took it seriously.
So Ponzalo. Okay. But you see what I'm saying? So TikToker did do this, put this out and said, hey, yo, she, I knew about this. I posted it on TikTok. No one gave a damn. And now that she's gone or now that she's been discovered, now everybody gives a damn. So I'm going to talk about it again, right? So this is very, very interesting. Let's continue. Who's Ponzalo?
So this is Ponzalo. He's a Discord user, all right? It says Cyber Criminoso. One mutual server, that's the David server, all right? And his little tagline here on his Discord is, I always knew.
Who the hell is this? Do you see what I'm saying? Come on now.
He always knew. He'd been a member of Discord for years. He hadn't joined David's... This part doesn't make sense. Now, does that mean he was a member of David's subreddit on September the 18th when the body was identified? That part doesn't make sense. Maybe this is an old screenshot, all right? But anyway, maybe this is a fake screenshot. But regardless, this person, Ponzalo, that is the name that you're going to be seeing a lot, okay? So this person apparently knew everything about what David was doing with Celeste behind the scenes for quite some time, and he actually did attempt to warn the world a few times. So let's just see what people are saying, okay? Because there's a lot of kind of conflicting info. It says, okay, so he can put I always knew in the bio, but he can't post anywhere and explain how he knew, right? So story has it, and I don't know if I want to participate in the potential smearing of this person, but there's a lot of posts going around where it says he was one of the kids who blackmailed David. Now, okay, these comments are 8 months ago. 8 months ago, okay, the rumor was going around that David had blackmailed the kids in Celeste's school to keep quiet about the relationship. There was a picture of allegedly some money being handed over in a parking lot, and a lot of people said this was David actually paying off Celeste's friends to stop talking. Come to find out, the prosecutors aren't alleging that's what happened. But now what prosecutors are saying is that David was actually paying $1,000 to one of Celeste's friends to give her a phone so that he could communicate with her after her phone was taken away by her parents because she went missing. She ran off with David. Okay. So there's this rumor going around that this kid Ponzalo was one of the kids that blackmailed David. Now, I'm not sure if that blackmail story is a separate story or if it turned out to be false and really somebody was getting paid to take a phone to Celeste. Okay. But it basically is an interesting theory.
I will say there is a teacher. Remember that video of the teacher basically saying like, yo, she was one of my students. And yeah, some of her friends and students in this school were blackmailing this rapper guy. And this is him right here, blah, blah, blah. You remember that whole video of the teacher saying this stuff? Yeah. So the rumor is that he was getting blackmailed by other students. Is that entirely true? I don't know. But the fact that other kids knew about this relationship with Celeste and D4vd, it's not a stretch. That is not to me, would not be a rumor, would not be considered a rumor. I feel like a lot of these students would know. Think about this, guys. She went disappearing. She disappeared. She'd leave. She'd come back. You see what I'm saying? She'd leave, she'd come back to school, I'm assuming, for a few weeks or something like that. Then problems would ensue between her and her parents, and then she'd kick rocks again. So she would be in school, then she'd disappear, then she'd come back, and then she'd disappear. Then also one of her former boyfriends said in an interview that she was talking about running away. She even said that to her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, I guess. She was also saying that quite a bit, not only just to her boyfriend, but to other people, other friends in the high school. And those people talk. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people, classic, exactly. A lot of people knew about what was going on here. People knew about this relationship. The kids in this high school definitely knew, especially when she's disappearing all the time. And then, like I said, they're just going, hey, where's Celeste? Shoot, just look, find her on Twitch. Just go to his page. He's live right now, and there she is. You see what I'm saying? So all these people already knew all this, and you don't think that she's not talking up the fact that she's with the likes of somebody like D4vd, who's also rising to fame as well? I'm with this big, huge, popular streamer guy, and he's got a new album that's about to drop, blah, blah, blah. You don't think she's talking about all that stuff? Talking about all that stuff. Those kids were talking, baby. Rumors fly so freaking fast, okay? So the rumors were definitely flying. As soon as she disappeared, as soon as she didn't show up, and the parents were filing missing reports and all that, definitely everybody's like, oh, we've been known. She up there with David, man. She with D4vd right up there. You see what I'm saying? Pretty crazy, but let's continue.
So there's a bunch of screenshots and posts that are going to go down that are going to blow your mind in this. Okay, it says exactly so. He has plenty of evidence. I hope he's sending over to LAPD. This is a set of posts from the Discord, and he basically apparently posted in the main David Discord. I want to tell everyone about how David is a PDF file. And they also posted, did y'all know that David likes kids? Right? And this is a year before the story broke about the body being found in the trunk of the Tesla.
A year before, y'all. Like I said, there's so much in here, and it's like, what the hell? What the hell's going on here? This is insane. He knew well in advance, unless he's exposing himself. Unless it's D4vd exposing himself, which I highly doubt. Why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? And what's also crazy is that these stayed up on Discord for a while. Do you understand how weird that is? Like, this stuff was up there. Comments like this were put up, and he didn't happen to stumble upon them at any time. I don't know. It's crazy, but let's continue.
So people are saying, I've seen his Discord messages, but how did he have her full name and connect it to the girl on the stream? Is he someone from Lake Elsinore? These are just general questions. So people are saying he owes nobody an explanation. Like, I'm sure he's reported it to the police, considering how hard he went to try and get people near him to begin with.
I would hope he did.
So... All right. There's a theory going around that Ponzalo is actually the very dude who was actually photographed with David in a parking lot in Lake Elsinore, seemingly being handed a bag of cash. So a lot of people actually believe that David... Oh, this is the wrong clip. That's not a relevant clip. But a lot of people believe that David actually paid off this Ponzalo guy who was exposing him online to stop talking. So this is the post that had a lot of people raising their eyebrows. So David posted in his Discord back in August of 2024, it would have been on the 16th of August 2024. He posted, everyone, I'm in a song crisis right now. And Ponzalo, he posted, drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, in August of 2024, all right? This is like 8 months before she even gets killed.
8 months before she lost her life. He's also saying, hey, you trying to think of some song ideas? How about you drop that song about your girl? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's... Who is this person, man? Who is this person? It's creepy. Who the hell is this person?
So he knows not only that David is messing with this missing girl, Celeste, knows her full name, knows everything about her, and this would have been just 4 months after the second time that she was officially declared missing in April of 2024. Obviously, the first time she was declared missing being Valentine's Day, also in 2024 when David ran off with her, okay? So a lot of people are saying this is wild, okay? That's what I'm saying. How did people know about it? A lot of people on his Discord knew about this. He just didn't care. So there's kind of more of this sort of people's thoughts of this going around. So that was months ago. This is something that came up right after the body was identified, and it's been swept under the rug and not talked about. But I've got some new stuff that kind of makes these posts hit very, very differently, okay? So it says, drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. It says, how does this go on for so long with people knowing about it? They're saying last year, by the way, okay? People saying, I feel like there was too much fans that knew, yet they didn't speak up, but I can somehow understand a bit why they didn't. Maybe there wasn't enough proof, unlike now where proof is everywhere, but someone should have at least tried to speak up. So they're saying, I agree with you, but to be fair, they had 2 years to report it until it came to this point. I found this information by going to the server and looking up her name. It can't be this hard for one person to report it, right? So this is back when David's Discord wasn't completely locked down and deleted. And this were basically internet detectives right after the body had been identified as Celeste, searching for Celeste in his Discord. And people are in there saying Celeste was one of his girlfriends. That was back in 2025, in July, before the body was found, but after the murder. Someone's saying Celeste is Team David too. Probably assume my house is not my home is probably about Celeste. Sophia's saying Celeste is the girl he showed in his stream. Yehu7 is the girl who spoiled him. And then, of course, Ponzalo saying drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So people saying, yeah, it sucks that no one tried to speak up. I'd like to think that someone tried to but got silenced by him, but I don't know. It's also weird. We're not going to go with the not guilty theories. We're not going to do that. So this has been posted a bunch of times. Some people were thinking it was a family member. So a lot of people are now looking back at Ponzalo and saying this is the only person who tried to warn everyone about David. And not only did he post that original post where he apparently said drop the one about the missing girl Celeste Rivas Hernandez, now more screenshots are going around where apparently in the days following that post, people were challenging him. This is in the main archive. It says, you aren't giving any proof. That's all I'm going to think. And then he replied, this is the girl. He shared the missing persons poster and that she's 13. And said she came back home in March, then went missing again in like April.
I mean, it's crazy how much this person, whoever Ponzalo is, knew, right? Knew about this situation, was able to connect the dots and go, hey, this girl's been missing. this is the girl that this is the girl. This is the woman, or the girl, I'm sorry, not woman, but girl that he was having an illegal relationship with. Here it is. And he's saying it out loud on this Discord, and nothing happened. Nothing came of this. You know, and you know what's even more sad about this is that there's somebody who clearly knew what was going on, and they were putting the information out there, I guess to a certain extent, but it wasn't enough to save her. You realize how jacked up and messed up that is, right? You got a situation where this girl could have potentially been saved if people actually were taking this person, Ponzalo's comments, seriously. But then the other question I would ask Ponzalo, maybe this is the reason why Ponzalo has not stepped forward, has not been exposed, been put out here. And I don't think that Ponzalo should be thrown under the bus or get any kind of negative backlash. But I do have to ask the question of, why didn't they report this information to police? Well, let me reiterate that. If they have they actually gone to police and given them this information well in advance, like during this time, August 16th, 2024? This is several months before she was found, before she even lost her life, and before her body was found, right? So did Ponzalo go to police? And if they didn't, why didn't they? You see what I'm saying? With all due respect, not trying to be rude, not trying to shame Ponzalo, but that kind of information, heavy information. If they didn't go to the police, why didn't they? And if they did, why didn't police do anything about it when that information was given to them? Just questions to ask. But again, like I said, there's so many breadcrumbs that could have led to her being saved, right? Breadcrumbs that could have led towards salvation and rescue, not her death. But that's the sad part about it. Let's continue.
So back in August of 2024, Ponzalo knew the personal inside info that Celeste had gone missing twice in February, coming home in March. I think she actually did return home in February, but maybe Ponzalo didn't know about that. And then her going missing again in April. He knew everything, and he was posting about it in the Discord in August 2024. So now this is sort of another I think this is like a back and forth. This is a posts that Ponzalo posted, and we already saw these, but he said, I want to tell everyone about how David is a PDF file. Did y'all know that David likes kids? And
see what I'm saying?
He was really spreading the word, right? So this is, again, this was right after the body was identified, and this is in the r/David subreddit. So here's the thing that's interesting, right? Here's the thing that's interesting. These posts are in the r/David subreddit, okay? r/David is a broken subreddit. You can't post here. The reason why you can't post here is because David was the only moderator. David, yes, the David, was the only moderator, and he withdrew from being a moderator. But before he withdrew, you were still able to post. So there were a bunch of these posts that I'm showing you of Ponzalo, that were in here. And then on this last post 8 months ago, very ironic, somebody posted, why hasn't he been arrested? This was a massively popular post. And then at this point, David leaves his own subreddit with no moderator, so you can't post there anymore because no post can be approved, effectively shutting down his own subreddit. But here's the thing. David was definitely 1,000% aware of what was going on in his subreddit because he was the only moderator. He was allowing these posts to go through. So absolutely guaranteed, David knew that these posts talking about Ponzalo knowing about David being a PDF file, David's seen these posts. David definitely read these posts, okay? So he read the posts and he would have read these comments. I guarantee you David read all of this because this is the only window of time that he was still moderating his own Discord, and he was sat around for 8 months with nothing better to do, right? Basically, David was just sat there reading all of this, finding out what was going on. I think he knew who Ponzalo was. So it says, imagine knowing what happened but not being able to prove it enough so that nobody believes you. It's got to hurt to know the truth but have no power to show it until it's too late. People are saying, damn, credit to that person for actually saying something, but probably sadly ignored. This shit pissed me off. People saying, unfortunately, I think they got paid off. They're saying, no, they didn't get paid off. They got banned from Discord. Apparently confirmed through matching social media account names that this was the person who got paid off. And people saying, I can't link the evidence because it was an Insta story, but it was literally the guy in the picture of David paying off the fat kid. It was on the story of the guy who leaked it. He shared DMs with him, some kid named Gonzalo. He claims Gonzalo is the Ponzalo guy from Discord. He could be BSing, but that's what I know. Okay. So it says one of the only people that knew what was going on was trying to alert people in the Discord. He was the same person that said drop the unreleased music with the missing girl. Okay. So did he just think that David made songs about missing minors, or did he know that he was messing with a minor? He definitely knew, right? So this is allegedly the picture of Ponzalo being paid off. That's allegedly him, Ponzalo, aka Gonzalo. And this is David apparently quite literally handing over money or something, texting in his phone with Ponzalo holding a bag of something. Could be a bag of cash, could be his own bag, and he's just organizing a transfer of some money, but definitely very suspect. Now, I haven't seen any proof of the payoff happening, okay, but people are saying, is there any proof that that's even him? There's another photo of him getting out of Tesla. How does that prove that it's him? Is there any proof? This one was deleted. It's unfortunate. People saying, no, it's not Ponzalo. Stop trying to dox minors for their own safety. You don't know what David or his team is capable of, including but not limited to witness tampering, intimidation. Thanks for the kindness, respectness, and privacy, buddy.
Now, here's the thing. When it comes to the Ponzalo, or like the guy, the money exchange going on, I mean, it could be a multitude of different things going on all at the same time. I mean, it could be him, it could be him paying him to go get some water. It could be him literally handing him a burner phone to get to Celeste. I mean, there's so many possibilities with that photo. It could be so many different things, guys. Just going back to that photo really quick. This photo could be a million different things. He could be getting the hookup. He could be getting some substances. He could be getting a beer. He could be getting hooking them up with beer. Like I said, there's so many different things that could be going on with this particular photo. Now, don't get me wrong. It may very well be what prosecution is presenting right now in their case, basically saying that, hey, this guy was paying a kid to give Celeste a burner phone so she could stay, or he could stay in touch with her. Those things are very, very real and very, very wild, if you ask me. So again, this is a very interesting situation, but let me just scrub this up a little bit for a second, and continue going.
Thanks for the kindness, respectness, and privacy, buddy. Right. So people are saying, wait, that was the person that said drop the song with a missing girl and then said her full government name. They've been trying to expose him. Discord MFs don't be caring about shit. They just spend the whole day role playing and doing e-dates. So people are reposting that. People saying, I've noticed Ponzalo user shows up a lot in the Discord. They know a lot about Celeste. So people are speculating it could have been a student who was at the same school as her, which could be a reason why he was able to connect the dots this easily, even if he wasn't 100% sure. That's just a theory, not a fact. Just saying that because I know some people will take it as one. Some people are saying, I'm wondering if that's actually her brother. Did anyone know if her brother knew the predator David? Celeste was dating the singer David. Her brother apparently knew and tried to go to the police, but nothing happened due to lack of evidence. He said he never had Discord and wasn't aware of the David Discord in general.
So
okay.
Again, brother knew something. He knew about something, but then nothing happened. He still went to the police and nothing happened. So maybe Ponzalo did the same thing. Maybe Ponzalo did go to the police and say, hey, D4vd is with Celeste. Celeste is with D4vd. This missing girl is with this man right here. But what would make no sense about that situation? Let's talk about that for a second here. So remember the filing from prosecution? Remember the filing that they said that police went to the house on February, sometime in February of 2024, if I'm correct, if my memory serves me correctly, basically saying, hey, hi, D4vd. There's a girl that we're looking for. Her name is Celeste. And he's like, I've only met her once, and she was here, but she's not here anymore. I've only met her once, but you mean this girl right here in my phone? This yearbook photo of her in my phone? You're talking about that same Celeste? Oh, wow. I didn't realize that she was not of age. Holy cow. So they knew. You see what I'm saying? So if you got police already knowing about that information, that means that they've been known. So if Ponzalo did go to police, there's not much that, like, that should have been the final nail in the coffin if Ponzalo did go there. Or same thing with the brother. If the brother, depending on when the brother went to the police, by the time, whether he went before or even after they had that first initial conversation with David and made David know that she was not of age, right, at that time, that would still mean that they knew about that police knew about this information and still did nothing. Think about that for a second, y'all. Police been known and they didn't do a mother freaking thing about it. Let that sink in for a second. Because it doesn't matter. If they did it, if it happened, if the information that Ponzalo or the brother, Celeste's brother, gave to the police before February, when they went up, police went up to his home, knocked on that door and said, sir, D4vd, we understand that you've been running around with a 13-year-old girl. Her name is Celeste Rivas Hernandez. What? I'm an artist. I don't know. I didn't know that she was not of age. You mean this girl? This one right here that looks like she's 9 in her yearbook photo that I have on my phone, that I have saved in my phone randomly? No, I've only seen her once, sir. They already knew. If they already had information before that. Do you understand how weird that is? Do you understand that the police could have done something and yet they did nothing? They said, well, sir, D4vd, if you happen to find, if you know where Celeste Rivas Hernandez may be, all we're asking for you to do, sir, is please bring her back home. Her family needs her home right now, sir. So if you happen to know where she is, please bring her home. Can you believe that? Think about that for a second. Not a let's lock him up right now. Not let's bring him in for questioning because he could be harboring a runaway, a minor. But no, they just go up there and say, oh, sir, please just drop off Celeste Rivas Hernandez to her home because that's where she needs to be, sir. She is a runaway and she is a minor, sir. So if you can bring her home as soon as possible, that will suffice a lot of things, sir. What? Not, sir, locking you up. Let's get this information. Where's she at? Bring her home right now. And we locking you up because you also had a minor in your home, a runaway, to add on top of that you shouldn't even have in your home in the first mother-loving place without some sort of parental guidance, right? Without some sort of parental unit there. So again, police didn't do anything at that time either. They would have been known about information, whether it was before or after they had that meeting with D4vd. They still didn't do anything, guys. Yeah, this is the Einhorn is Finkel, Finkel is Einhorn situation. Yeah. Think about that for a second. There was warning signs. The police went to the house. Yeah, it is Gabby Petito all over again. And instead of them actually saying, hey, we need you to come with us, sir. We're going to take you downtown and start asking questions in a room with no windows. You know what I'm saying? No, they didn't do that. They just said, please bring her home. If you see her, please just bring her home. What? He should have been locked up. Do you understand how dumb this is? Einhorn is Finkel and Finkel is Einhorn. Do you understand? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Every bad thing that could have possibly happened. Do you understand? Dear Lord, this girl didn't even have a fighting chance. Ain't that crazy?
There's more posts going around from months ago, right? People saying, why didn't anyone talk up sooner? There's a post in the David Discord proving someone was aware of his connection to the missing girl Celeste. So how is it just now becoming public when the server has 24,000 people in it? People saying, you raise a valid point, but at the time that this was posted, the server had far less people in it. Since the news, there's been a massive influx. It's just crazy how now all these people have information. But when he was strolling around with a missing minor, everybody was shh. Says David was suing people $30,000 for even posting a photo of the two together. I think I heard that before. It says, well, for whatever reason, they had to not talk. Now that David has been...
Is that true? That would be insane, too. That's
exposed,
insane.
They have nothing to lose, and David's relationship is now worth nothing, so they prefer to have some credit by exposing him even more than keeping silent. Says, in my opinion, they probably tried, but it's always hard to expose these celebrities. Not only do you have to deal with their powerful legal teams and record labels, but sometimes the fans won't react the way that you expect. It's like there's a weird waiting game when it comes to exposing celebrities. It has to come out at the right time. People saying, what was even the context of this message? It's David saying that he was in a song crisis. We know that. So I've got a new message now that I hadn't seen before. And we're now kind of moving, beyond the period of the original David subreddit. But this was still 8 months ago, all right? A lot of this stuff slipped me by. It says, don't know if you've already seen it, but I found this on Twitter, right? So this is Ponzalo apparently saying he took my little sister's friend to LA to F in his house while she's 12. So if this is true and real, this would confirm that Ponzalo is essentially the older brother of one of Celeste's friends.
Bang. Like I said, there's a reason that I want to bring this up and show you guys Ross's breakdown, because this is so damn good. And now you got Ponzalo. There's motive now. There's a reason now. You see that? Now it's this dude took my sister's friend to do this stuff. So now it's personal. You see what I'm saying? Crazy, okay? Just crazy. Just crazy. Who is this guy? Who is this person, right? Who is this? It could be a girl too. You never know. It could be a girl, but let's continue.
Took my little sister's friend to LA to F in his house while she's 12. And people saying anyone can make stuff up, and that's what it sounds like, right? People aren't believing him. And obviously they're saying it's the same guy. They're saying, so is he a troll or on the defense? I suppose it's one of the miners who knew.
Here's the thing. If he's a troll, then why would he know all this information beforehand? Why would this guy out of nowhere just make up in his mind, independently in his mind, go, oh yeah, he's with littles. He's running around fiddling about with these littles. And one of them, we're just gonna make up a name. Her name is Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Like, that doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't just, why would he, if he's just a troll and he's just making things up, they would say other crazy stuff. You see what I'm saying? They would say other things that are just asinine and out of this world, just to create rumor for the sake of rumor. Like saying that Celeste Rivas doesn't exist. Do you know who I'm talking about? Like, Celeste Rivas doesn't exist, and her family doesn't exist. Her grandma doesn't exist. And that GoFundMe that was created, it's just one big scam. That's all it is. It's just one fat ass scam. You know who I'm talking about? Do you know who I'm referring to? I'll just tell you. Upchurch, who now has to pay out $17.5 million for the Kylie Rodney case, because he was saying things about this missing girl that was found in a lake, saying that she wasn't even freaking real. Yeah, he was saying crazy stuff. So again, and he was saying things that were out of this world, saying that she didn't exist, that she wasn't real, that this whole thing was a hoax. So again, this doesn't make sense, right? It's a whole pyramid scam. Like what? You know what I mean? It's like a whole pyramid scheme. Absolutely insane. But you see how you got like the likes of Upchurch saying things, he's just talking wild, right? He's just saying things and talking things out his ass, Ryan Upchurch. Whereas this guy, he's pulling out information that's real, like Celeste Rivas missing, and saying that this guy is with her, and he's actually correct. So it's not like he's going and just being a troll for the sake of being a troll and saying, oh yeah, none of these things are real. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense for them to sit there and go, oh, he just must be a troll. That's what he is. He's just a troll. How is he a troll if he has all this information and it's accurate and it's real? Right? So again, yeah, Upchurch got super sued. Okay? Dude got super sued. And what's crazy about that too, just a little side note, a little side tangent, okay? What's really wild about that situation is that he still has supporters that have his back, that are still being like, it's all right. We believe you too, sir. We believe you, Upchurch. Like, what? He's like he whatever he fabricated in his mind, he believes that to be true. That's fine. But it's not true. You see what I'm saying? Saying somebody doesn't exist it's wrong and it's insane, especially when you got somebody who actually did exist and lost their life tragically. And the fact that they all, you know what I mean? all these people, the fact that he's got a platform and he's saying all of this stuff to these people, and these people are sitting there going like, we got you, brother. What? What? He said something that wasn't real, that wasn't true. It was a lie. It was a full-on lie. And there's still people out there like, we believe you, brother. We got you, brother. What? He just got sued and lost. He's going to have to pull out of his ass $17.5 million if he ever pays that, ever. He going to be paying that for the rest of his freaking natural life. So again, yeah, this guy here, this Ponzalo, he's coming in with facts. That dude was out here saying that the girl didn't exist and that this whole thing was just one big scam for the family to make money off of the tragic death of a girl, of a daughter that they never had. I still can't believe that one. And I'm like, $17.5 million is a lot of money. And I don't think that guy Upchurch has that kind of bread, does he? I don't think he does. If he do, that's every last penny he got. That's every last penny.
This person called him a PDF multiple times, posted the missing poster, and told him to drop the song about her using her full name at some point. Okay. They basically said their little sister was friends with Celeste. Could have been talking about a different 11-year-old, but in context, clues indicate it's Celeste. Okay. They're saying he knows more than the average person. People saying he was linked to the kid who was paid off by David. Unsure if it was actually him, but it would make sense because he stopped. He says, I suspect he's a blackmailer. He's getting the word out for money, not to do the right thing. So for those not getting it, Ponzalo is saying his little sister is Celeste's friends. He's talking about Celeste. He claimed to be the one who was paid the hush money to stop talking about her being missing. Apparently, Ponzalo is a minor. Okay. Apparently, he went to school with Celeste and was only a few years older than her. They're saying he doesn't live in the US, much less California. This person knew things. It's not the first time I've seen his name and profile picture talking about Celeste. And this says, I can confirm it's real, guys. Look at the screenshot. Because of how many people are in, I'd usually say 10 to 13 chats per minute. There's a huge gap from 552 to 601, which is unusual. He clearly deleted not only that text in particular, but all reactions or interactions with anyone who responded to it. I joined after the controversy to do my own research. I had no idea who he was prior, don't worry. He did the same for a few other incriminating text that was in there. I've been trying to screenshot all weird shit before it was removed. So they're basically saying that those messages with Ponzalo were deleted, right? It was covered up. It says, I don't know, this guy seems fishy. Apparently it was the same guy that was trying to blackmail the kids who were blackmailing David. So people saying something's not right here. So listen to this. This is a back and forth. He said, if you really try to ruin your life, I will help you, bud. And they said, dude, please. Actually, Ethan, you don't know how bad this is. And he said, explain how bad it is then. He said, bro, this was a secret that wasn't supposed to get out. David didn't know how old the girl was when she was apparently lying and saying she was 19 when he was 20. And the second he found out, he took her home. And since we were dumbass kids, we tried to blackmail him and we really messed up. If you keep that video up, you could ruin his life for doing nothing wrong over a girl lying. And then you could ruin my life because he would know I leaked it and I could go to jail for like slandering him, bro. And then they say, pay me. Okay. So something's going on, right? And people aren't buying it. Some people are saying there ain't no way. Not fake. This is called lying. The blackmailing kiddo was lying to defend David. He still is at other places too, allegedly. People are saying there's no way she lied about her age. People saying, yup, the kids David paid off are still lying to cover for him. They're even calling him innocent and shit, despite knowing otherwise for a fact. At least one of them was from Celeste's same school, if not in the same class. People saying, based on what? They might online on Fortnite in a friend group. It's super easy to say you're older online. I find it hard. There's no way she lied about her age. It's definitely a possibility. And that's how she looked when they met. All right, fact. She was a child. Anyway. So this is another back and forth. Does Ponzalo come up here? This is somebody else basically knowing and saying, they're basically saying, I don't know, he had a girl, he might have had a sneaky link, he has a girlfriend, pretty sure he's dating, her name is Celeste. He said he wasn't in a relationship, but she's so pretty, right? They're saying you can't blame Ellie for calling Ponzalo a liar here. Situation is that sick and twisted. Anyone who isn't aware is obviously going to assume it's a blatant lie. So there's sort of like a lot of these posts that are going around. Obviously, I already showed you this one, but people have been trying to work out who this is, right? This is 8 months ago. Now we've got a bit more context. We know that he's the older brother of one of Celeste's friends, but people...
Yeah, older brother or older individual of one of Celeste's friends. So again, this is the reason why I keep asking what was going on in that other house that he was renting or that he owned. I don't know if he owned it or if he was just straight up renting that other house down the street from the mansion that he was living in the Hollywood Hills. He owned another house on the same road down the way, right? People were staying in that other place as if it was their own spot, right? So again, and also Celeste was allegedly staying in that space too. Could there possibly be they said that, okay, let's not forget this too. And I'm sorry for like talking all over the place, but they also said that there's a possible, at least according to SF Investigates, that there is another victim, another alleged little that's going to be speaking out. My question is, did he create that house so that he can have like a bunch of littles staying in that house for his own leisure? I don't know. For his own disgusting pleasure? I don't know. But something very strange is going on here. And again, it's like Ponzalo's sister, right? Or Ponzalo's sister's friend could also be a victim of this situation too, and maybe staying at that house. I don't know, but it is just a very interesting situation here, right? But let me play a little bit more of this.
Saying at the time when we found out exactly who the person was that was in the trunk of David's Tesla, these old posts started going around, and this is when Ponzalo was telling everyone that David is a PDF file, and someone's posted it saying, have this person revealed themselves yet, or are they still being silent regarding the situation right now? So I really wish they would. If anything, they've either got the same pass to the account or is dead. I really hope this isn't the same Gus person that she was speaking about to David. Probably not. It says that this is a little insane, and I don't know how believable it is, so take with a grain of salt. I've been deep diving on Reddit about this case, and I saw a video of a guy claiming he was friends with the kid who took the photo of David giving money to the kid. He claimed in the video that this person was the one receiving money from David. In the video, he showed the usernames matched and everything. I don't know how true it is. Okay, got to be one of the kids he paid off to keep quiet. So, apparently, okay, there's more. Ponzalo was apparently trying to find TikToks of Celeste, and this is before he was exposing her. So before she was exposing David for messing with her, before he was on there talking about David's a PDF and dropped the song about the missing girl, right? It says this nerd knew about her TikTok too. So Ponzalo posted, does anyone know what happened to David's girlfriend's videos on TikTok? And he said, why did they all like disappear? And it said he also sent this, and that's the drop the song with the missing girl. So the people saying, who is that? Has anyone found out? No clue, but they were the first to openly call out David in server and got banned for it. He said, I started my username in everything, just my name. Apparently his username is GonsQLu. He apparently tried blackmailing David and got paid. They're saying, isn't this the guy that called him a PDF around that time? And then that's the post. It says, but now he's switched up. He's putting the blame on Celeste. They're saying the dude is spreading BS. Don't believe that, chat. Timeline with those Discord messages goes back to 2022, and it doesn't add up at all. If she lied about being 19, Slim tried to run with this narrative too. I called him out on X for it, and he deleted his account and everything. The mods tried to save their asses, but based on Discord messages, they definitely effing knew. And they're saying, so this was the kid in the pic where David was paying him, right? So they're saying that's his nickname on Discord, Cyber Criminoso. I mean, I've got Discord. I have to send him a friend request real quick. All right, I just sent him a friend request on Discord. If he hits me back, I'll let you guys know. All right, maybe you'll see this video. It says, this dude's old name was Todd Lerfondler a year ago. If you don't believe me, go into the server with bleed and paste in that name. So that's obviously the posting of her. Anybody with...
I mean, again, you know, who is this guy? How is he, obviously we're starting to hear the little sister's friend may have been a victim of D4vd in the past. And of course, that's the reason. I feel like that's one of the reasons why maybe this particular person has a vendetta, you know what I mean? Maybe a vendetta out against this, against D4vd, hence the reason why they're coming out and talking and doing all this. I don't know. But one thing is for sure, that person knows a lot of information that we have not gotten down to the bottom of as far as other people. If you noticed, we haven't seen other people step out. We haven't seen other people speak out yet. Have we? We really haven't. We haven't heard anybody come out and say, oh yeah, what's going on here is, I'm a friend of such and such and I saw everything. We haven't heard anybody say any of that. Have you noticed that? Remember the Diddy situation, the Diddy trial and everything? Way before the Diddy trial, there were all kinds of people coming out the woodwork, man. All kinds of people. Remember homegirl that said that she was moved around and she was put in cages and stuff? Remember that stuff? Full-on exclusive interviews. And of course we found out that all that stuff was fake. But at the same time, it's just very crazy that we haven't had or heard anyone speak out about D4vd. We have not heard anyone say I'm a victim or even saying I saw it all. Here's my take in what I saw. You see what I'm saying? No one has said anything at all, which is very shocking. Because you would think people would be speaking out about this right now. Right now. And we haven't heard anything from anybody, which is shocking, to say the least. So, of course, there's more. So we're gonna get into some other things because there's, of course, you want to see the whole thing. Please go over to Trap More Ross. Trap More Ross. All right. Go and check it out. No. I know that there's a minor that did speak out, like that it did come forward and is working with police right now and working, I'm sure, with prosecution and everything as well. That's what SF Investigates said a long time ago. But what I mean is we haven't heard from anyone else. No one has said anything. We haven't heard Neo break his silence in a way. Yeah, he did say some things like calling D4vd an idiot and stuff like that. But we haven't really heard anyone say I was there and I saw it all. You know what I mean? We haven't heard anything of that sort. We haven't. So I just find that interesting. I just find that very interesting that no one has said anything at all thus far about David and what they may have witnessed. That's all I'm trying to say, Because I feel like people would just be jumping on. People would be jumping onto these lives and saying everything. You know what I mean? Just exposing everything. But we haven't seen any of that. Maybe that, and obviously it's a good thing, if you look at it that way, it's a good thing, So we'll see how that goes, or we'll see what transpires over time. Now, we do have to look at some other things, okay? But so the D4vd thing, we said it, we talked about it. There it is. All right. It is pretty insane. What we've been learning so far about David. And it's so crazy because it's like a story that just, there's so many layers to this story. There's so many layers to this onion. And the more we keep peeling back, the more we realize how jacked up it is and how tragic this whole situation really is the fact that no one helped her. I know. We had a whole conversation back in the day about the parents. And I'm going to put the parents off to the side. They're still grieving. They're still going through all this stuff. I'm not here to shame the parents. Not at all. But what I'm trying to say is that there was no help. She had so many things working not in her favor. It is just mind-boggling to me what we've seen. I just think it's just absolutely mind-boggling, if you ask me. And at some point, something has to be learned from this. And that's from 5-0. That is from the community. That's from families and parents, etc. All of this, everything. It was all like I said, if you expand beyond, it's like the family, then the neighborhood, then the school, then the 5-0. Like all of these elements did not work in her favor at all whatsoever. And now she is dead, right? It's mind-blowing to think that every avenue that they could have gone down, it seems as if they didn't go down those routes. Everything was just destined for her to be in that front trunk of that Tesla. It's just scary to me, guys. And heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. Now, something that isn't very heartbreaking, okay? I'm just going to say that out loud. It's something I didn't have time to show you guys yesterday. Well, we talked about Chud the Builder, okay? That racist piece of trash. And he's in some serious trouble, as we already know. He's looking at attempted M, and he is still locked up in jail right now. And he's trying to find a way to get the F out. But here's the thing. Gideon had an interview with Bruce Rivers again about the Chud altercation and the situation that happened that got him locked up in the first place, or for the second time, really. Okay, because he went pew-pew on somebody outside of a courthouse. He went toe-to-toe with this particular person and pulled out a weapon and he blasted that guy. Now, the guy's still alive, but still, he is getting charged with attempted M right now, and he has a bail of $1.25 million on his head. and he's having a hard time trying to get that money. But I wanted you guys to hear what Bruce Rivers had to say about the act, this violence that happened, his First Amendment right, okay, and his 2A, his Second Amendment right as well, and how all of this kind of comes together when it comes to this case with Chud the Builder. So we got Gideon, shout out to Gideon, and shout out to Bruce Rivers for giving us some knowledge. So let's take a look at this, shall we?
Onto it, he doesn't have the ability. It is not protected speech. It is to express yourself and
in other clips that you've probably seen and the audience have probably seen. Would you say that vocabulary?
Oh, I forgot. And yeah, he blasted himself as well. Yeah. While he was going pew pew on the guy, he actually blasted himself in the arm as well. Let's not forget that too. But let's continue. Yes, Bruce Rivers, the criminal lawyer. Okay. Let's take a look.
What he's saying is protected under freedom of speech.
Let's talk about what freedom of speech is. You have the right to express yourself and to affiliate, under the First Amendment, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's freedom from government intrusion. But they can regulate time, place, and manner of speech. In other words, you can't yell, "I just fucked your mother in a crowded theater," or a fire in a crowded theater. Right?
Yes, sir.
And so when you race bait, which is what he's doing, and it is not okay. It is not protected speech. It is at the very least, it's disorderly conduct. But he incites this, right? And when he incites this, and people respond to it, he doesn't have the ability then to claim self-defense. Because you see in these clips of his, he sits there and says, I will protect myself and I will use lethal force. I mean, he tells you what he's going to do.
Yeah, he keeps saying, yeah, go ahead and, he'll say stuff like chimp out, right? Or he'll say the N-word and go, oh yeah, hey, you better not follow me to my truck because I got 18 friends waiting for your ass. He'll say stuff like that and he'd be like, you better not follow me to my truck. Wait till I get to my truck. Wait till I get to my truck. And it's like, yo, like, come on, like, that's not inciting violence of any kind. Sure, he's walking up and saying the N-word. Sure, that's his First Amendment right. But at the same time, he's still also sitting there saying, like, hey, you step to me, I'm gonna blast you, fool. I'll blast you, cuh. Okay.
In some of these clips. And it's just that's not the law. I think he thinks he knows the law because maybe he took a concealed carry class from some gun-toting asshole who never made it on the police force, and now they think they're vigilantes. I mean, have you ever seen these guys who teach these concealed carry classes? They're awful. But
pretty bad.
You can't do that. Now, in this case, I don't know that he necessarily incited what happened to him, but his conduct overall did. And this is all started because he didn't want to pay a fucking $400 restaurant bill. That's why he was in court to begin with.
So, I mean, with all of this going on, and it looks to me, and not even just looks to me, but him saying it seems like he wanted a situation like this to happen eventually.
Without a doubt. But remember that old phrase, be careful what you wish for?
Yes, sir.
You just might get it. Well, he got it. And guess what? Where is he now?
He's in prison.
He's receiving clanging door therapy.
I'm going to share this clip now with the audience and you.
Well, they want to threaten your life, you take theirs. You put them on the ground, then you go live on Kick. You say, look at this dumb laying dead on the ground.
Holy shit, bro. Dude,
that's how you go. That's how you go viral. You'll get double the followers you got.
So he's saying they want to threaten your life. You take theirs. You go live and you say, "There's that dead." Then you drop the hard R right there. And then he made tweets like this saying, "Series finale is dead. Chimp on the pavement, and you monkeys rioting when I walk free. Stay tuned." So,
I mean, listen. This is your king. You know what I mean? Real talk. Who runs around watching the likes of this dude? Who has so much hate in their heart that they need to be doing this kind of content in the first place? Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. We all don't need to be doing content of sunshine and daffodils, but what makes somebody want to go out of their way to make content like this And how are they still on any of these platforms, y'all? How are they still on any of these platforms? I get it. First Amendment right. You get the right to free speech and all that. But this is beyond that, y'all. This is way beyond that, especially when you're inciting violence. Look at that. Just that tweet alone. When you're putting out content like that and putting out things like that, this is not somebody that should have any access to any platform. That's just me, though. I get First Amendment rights. I get freedom of speech. We fight for that every day on this platform, but there's a difference between what the content that I'm making and the fact that I have to use these code words when I talk on these platforms, and then there's this guy who's literally just saying everything he wants, and he's saying it to people who don't deserve the vitriol that's coming out, the venom that's coming out of this man's mouth. Crazy.
Oh, it seems like he knew that either he would end up dying in the situation, or he would end up killing somebody with the type of content, with the type of conduct that he's doing. So, could these tweets and these things that he's been saying online be used against him in court?
100%. It goes to state of mind. The defense try to make a motion to exclude it from evidence, but any statement made by a defendant is a statement of a party opponent, and it comes in for almost any purpose. I mean, it's a pretty wide. It just has to be relevant, and you have the state of mind of this asshole, and I'm being as kind as I can to this asshole by using the word asshole. I mean, and so anything he says comes into evidence, especially when it comes to state of mind. And so the amount of force he's supposed to use if he's being attacked has to be proportional. You can't use an unreasonable amount of force, and you can't be the provocateur.
So that's what a lot of people have been saying, where it's like, let's say the guy who he got in an altercation with attacked him first. I was always under the assumption if, like, let's say somebody like runs up on you and is like trying to fist fight you, you would have like a legal right to, you know, pull out your pistol or whatever.
No. You have a right to punch him in the face, but you don't have the right to just shoot him.
Really? So if somebody runs up on you, like,
that's very interesting. And I'm very glad that we're watching this right here. Okay. This is what I wanted to watch with you guys yesterday, but I didn't have a whole lot of time. So we're going to get it in now.
Wanting to fight you fist to fist, you can't just pull out your gun?
A 12-year-old came up and did that too.
A 12-year-old? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, would that be okay to just pop him in the head and kill him?
Okay, but like, let's say a 25-year-old guy is attacking some 60-year-old dude, old, frail. He can't, you know, fight with his fist, and he has a weapon on him. Why wouldn't he be?
Hang on. I'm 59. Is that a veiled reference at my weak tit?
Yeah, let's say that. Here, you're 59. I'm 25. Let's say I run up on you. You cut me off in traffic, and I'm trying to fist fight you, and you have a weapon on you, right? Why wouldn't you be able to use your firearm?
Yeah, it's got to be like force with like force. Now, if you get me on the ground and you're bashing my head in, kind of like the George Zimmerman, remember that case?
Yeah.
With Trayvon Martin, and bashing my head in, and then I feel like I'm gonna die, or you're gonna give me a concussion or whatever, and I reach in and grab my gun with you on top of me. That's a different scenario. But if it's just us slapping each other in the face, saying "fuck you," you don't have the right to shoot somebody in that situation.
Wow, that's actually new. I did not know that.
That's good to know.
Proportionality is the key.
Proportionality, yeah, because there's been no reports that the individual had any weapon on him or anything. And
here's the thing, Chud, I really don't like this guy. I'm just going to go on the record and say I fucking don't like this guy at all. He is a decent-sized guy, and he's put together. I mean, if he's got the wherewithal to fend off an attack in the same manner as that it's being brought, and instead he decides to use lethal force, that's excessive force. Cops have the same situation. Cops can't just shoot you just because. What they're doing has to be reasonable under the circumstances. And what the test is what a reasonable person under the same circumstances would do. And so you're going to get all kinds of different answers from all kinds of different jurors. So that's why some guy, who's a gun-toting member of the NRA will say, I'd shoot the motherfucker. And some housewife from, the suburbs might say, I just thought he was just too much for that person, so you're going to get a wide gamut of, I had a case very similar. My client was being threatened by his brother-in-law, and my client had a back injury, and they had displaced him. My client and his girlfriend had displaced him, living in their mother's house, right? And took over the brother's room. The brother went down into the room to look for a game. He was just really fucking with my client, and the client's just standing there with a gun at his side, right? And he says, "What are you going to do with that?" And he starts charging at him, and he shoots him in the knee. And he fucking shot me. He shot me. Well, under that circumstance, it's similar to what we're talking about here. We had an NRA guy said, I fucked the law. He's not guilty. I would do that in a minute, blah, blah, blah. Then we had a lesbian firefighter, law clerk to a federal judge, all same person, by the way. And she was ultra liberal and said he was acting unreasonably. So it really comes down to what the jury would think was reasonable under the circumstances. And now you have the same situation here.
So with this situation, let's say you were Chud's defense lawyer. Would you want to take this to trial? Kind of like what I'm seeing, it's a majority white area, small county. I think 165,000 people live there. Would this be something you want to take to trial, or would this be something where, hey, if the prosecutors give us a plea, we got to take that?
I haven't seen all the reports, and I don't see what his attitude is, and it would be the client's decision to do that or not. But here's the thing: geography plays a big part of that, right? But here's the thing: this was Tennessee, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, fairly right wing, fairly conservative. And so what you want fucking racists on the jury, because I think wasn't this a black guy that attacked him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you want the most racist motherfuckers on the jury, but you can't really go after that. You have to that's what you want, because you want people of like mind with your client. You get what I'm saying?
So the prosecutors would be trying to go for the most probably liberal people, whereas the defense attorneys are going to be going for the most racist people. Yeah, somebody more sympathetic to our client, and you can't ask them if they're a Trump supporter, but you can kind of glean. Okay, what news do you watch? Do you watch Fox? Did you vote in the last election? You want the most right-wing people. What do you think about self-defense? If somebody, and you want, I think you want male. I think you want right-wing. I think you want people who own guns. And, have you ever been attacked by a black person? I'm not saying it's right, but that's the way it is. And I'm seeing a lot of people comparing this to the Carmelo Anthony case.
It rings a bell.
The black kid who he stabbed the white kid at the.
Oh yeah.
So here's a quick graphic. Let me.
Where's that case? What's going on with that case?
I think it's still going on. Like, it hasn't. I don't think it's concluded yet. But as you see right here, Chud the Builder. I'm just calling him Chud. Chud's bail is at 1.25 million, whereas Carmelo Anthony's was at 250K. And a lot of people are saying that Chud the Builder is being unfairly prosecuted, that the justice system has it out for him and stuff like that. What would you say to people saying that?
And your time to.
I'm gonna guesstimate that maybe it's because Chud has a history of inciting violence so often that maybe that's the reason why this particular judge said, nah, yours is 1.25. That's this my, don't get me wrong. What Carmelo Anthony did is absolutely insane and wild, right? And he's going to see his day in court too. But remember, this was just, if that was one act of violence, right? Whereas Chud, with his situation, he has prior, he has a history. So that may be it, right? I'm not justifying anything, but I'm just saying that could very well be the reason why his bail is so high in comparison to Carmelo's. But let's continue.
And something else. I mean, here's the thing. There's a firearm involved. A knife was involved. You've got a history of race baiting and him really trying to get this kind of attention and inciting bullshit, which you didn't have that in the other case. The other case, I think that Carmelo Anthony he wasn't the aggressor in that. I mean, they were trying to get him out of a particular area. And it was, how fucking dumb was that? He was just sitting in the stands. He's more sympathetic, in my opinion. And it was 2 against 1 in that case. This is 1 against 1. So, and there's a firearm involved in this one. And anytime you have guns involved, that raises the bar substantially.
So people trying to correlate the two. There really isn't a correlation between the two.
No, not at all. Not even close. A high school dispute versus some celebrity wannabe who is a more deplorable human being than has a right to.
I also want to point this out too. Just a reminder, Carmelo Anthony's trial is set for June 1st. Just so y'all know, that's coming soon, y'all. I'm just reading off of Google AI real quick, and it's saying first-degree murder trial for Carmelo Anthony is scheduled to begin on June 1st. The proceedings will take place at the 296th district at the Collin County Courthouse in McKinney, Texas. Just so you know. So his trial's coming up very, very soon. Are there going to be cameras in there? I don't know. Hold on. I don't think that there will be. Yep. No, there would be no cameras in the courthouse or in the courtroom. Okay. So that isn't great. Let's see. He issued a strict media and security order prohibiting any video or audio recording, photography, or live streaming inside the actual courtroom. The presiding judge's directive ensures a controlled environment for the high-profile proceeding by barring all electronic capture of the hearings. So if you want details, I guess to find, you can find other further details regarding the courthouse guidelines, so on and so forth on these specific periodicals. But yeah, no cams at all, y'all. No cams whatsoever, which is kind of crappy. But I'm wondering if somebody's going to be able to be in the room, in the courthouse, and live tweet the actual trial. That would be amazing, because I know a lot of us want to know what's going on with that particular trial. And we'd be watching it like crazy. We'd be covering that like crazy, obviously, starting on June 1st. So if there is going to be some way of someone being able to do recaps or something like that, or live tweets like we did with the Diddy trial, we might do that. We might cover that like that. It just depends, right? But that's happening starting June 1st. So get ready for a hot June. I'm just going to tell you that. It's going to be a pretty crazy and hectic June. Because we also have on the 17th, if I'm correct, we got D4vd's, they got another status conference to make sure that they're ready for their preliminary hearing. And then clearly they'll have their preliminary hearing at the end of June as well, if everything goes according to the plan. And then, so June's going to be a pretty busy month. So get ready for it, because we will be following and covering that Carmelo Anthony case for show.
Breathing my fucking air.
And then another thing that people are pointing at, saying like how unfair this is Chud, or actually not this one, it was this one. So apparently it's being reported that the district attorney is reportedly planning to block Chud the Builder's fundraising money toward his bond. And they're saying, and a lot of people are upset with that, because if you go on his fundraiser, last I saw it, I think it was at like $250,000. And the district attorney's blocking it. So would you say, people are saying that's unjust, unconstitutional? What would you have to say to people saying that?
Well, here's what I think. What are the grounds for it? Because they're going to have a source hearing. That's what the DA wanted to do because they're going to have a detention hearing to try to lower the bond. And then he wanted to have a source hearing, like who's going to put up that bond. Now, the argument for it, for limiting it, is, okay, if other people are putting up this bond, you don't have any skin in the game, so you don't really give a shit. So, you're not going to, it's not going to matter to you, and the bail's not going to have the impact that it's supposed to have, number one. But the flip side of that is, who the fuck are you to say where I get my money from? So I don't understand what legal grounds, and I've never come across this, mind you. So I don't know what legal grounds he has to do just that, to block.
I think what I've been seeing is, people have been saying, it's kind of like whenever a drug dealer gets arrested and you can't use the money that the alleged crime happened from to go towards your bond. So I think what they're saying is
that's drug money. I mean, I fucking love drug money, by the way. The best clients are hardcore drug dealers, because they're good businessmen. They don't bitch, and they will not bitch about 30 years like people bitch about 30 days. Anyway, that's just an aside. But that's different from this.
Wow.
He is fundraising on his clout, so to speak. And in the case that you're talking about with a drug dealer, you can't use ill-gotten gains, for bail purposes. That's I can't knowingly take drug money from to represent somebody. It's got to come from some source that we can trace back to legitimate funds.
So in other words, he can get money. So somebody like a dealer could go pay somebody else, or give the money to somebody else, put it in their account, and then have them pay Bruce. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's a way to do it. I mean, it's the Diddy approach. That's exactly what Diddy did when it came to paying those S workers that were, you know, running through his girls. He would have that money taken out and given to somebody else so that that person could actually pay the S workers. So it's not directly coming from his hands. It's coming from his assistant. It's coming from the girl that is performing in the room for those freak offs, so on and so forth, right? So you find those loopholes and you jump through them, right? But I'm going to play a little bit more of this.
So I don't see that in this case.
So you do think he will probably, when the next hearing happens, he'll probably be able to use his fundraising money?
It's Tennessee law, so I don't. If it was Minnesota, I'd say yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but Tennessee, so with it being in a different state, it could be entirely different ballpark.
Could be, yeah.
Do you think?
You know, I think what you're talking about, like you can't write a book and profit off of your crime. That's the kind of thing that you're talking about, right?
Yeah. I think what people were saying, where it's like, since he's been itching for something like this to happen. And like that's kind of like what his whole channel was around. That's kind of what the GoFundMe he set up was around. That elicit and aiding in his crime. So I think that's what people are kind of getting along. But I can also see your point. I guess the next thing is, do you think right now that they are just putting more charges on to scare for a plea? Or do you think they will go full force and actually try that attempted murder in court?
I don't know many prosecutors who charge something just to try to coerce a plea. I have had it, you know, you get up to the day of trial and say, look, if you don't take this, we're going to add blah, blah, blah. I've had that happen. But at this point, it seems to fit. I mean, he shot a guy. And if you shot a guy, do you ever shoot without the intention to kill? Probably not. So if it's attempted murder, you know, it seems to fit. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's overcharged.
Okay. And then also, I'll show this to you in the audience. It's being reported that apparently, at least the arrest warrant is stating that according to the arrest warrant, Chud the Builder pulled his weapon before the altercation. The arrest warrant specifically states Eartherly, that's his last name, stood in a bladed stance and reached for his firearm. Thereafter, a physical altercation ensued. So pretty much saying that it wasn't he pulled the gun out, or he pulled the gun out while he was getting beat up. He pulled the gun out before any physical altercation had happened. So how does that change the case?
That can be an act of provocation, okay? You can't start a fight and then claim self-defense. You cannot start a fight and claim self-defense. So if he's standing there and this guy's sort of looking at him and maybe he's jawing at him a little bit and Bob the Builder, you know, pulls his fucking, I know it's Chud the Builder, but, you know, we'll call him Bob the Builder. I fucking hate this guy so bad. This whole race thing, didn't we fucking get rid of that when Obama, you know, was president? Didn't we get rid of some of this fucking shit when what's his name said, can't we just get along, you know? I mean, fucking hell, I'm so fucking sick of this. I've got a lot of black friends, black lawyers, and, you know, when I hear that hard R coming from this motherfucker, pardon my French, it just makes my blood boil, and that's what he wants. Right? That's what he wants. He wants that controversy. He wants to look outrageous, you know, and so this black guy standing on the street sees him with his gun out, and what has he said before? You know, fucking eliminate all these people, whatever. He's used that.
Apparently, because in the stream footage when he was being like attended to by the paramedics, he states that it was like they were a far distance away, and Chud states that he's the one who walked up to him first and started the interaction.
Interaction is one thing. Starting a fight is another. And you can't, and just pulling and brandishing your firearm isn't an assault in and of itself. And that's probably where the prosecution is going to go with this, saying that he committed the assault initially by brandishing his firearm.
Wow. Wow. So, and there's been talks of like the lawyer that's currently representing him wanting to just be done with this case and everything like that. Like,
Jay Oma, I mean, he'll take it for free, right?
Actually, Jay Oma is on your side with this. Jay Oma doesn't like him either.
I mean, I don't think anybody really likes him, to be completely honest. I don't think anybody likes him. The dude is... What is there to like? Unless you're on like that same team. Like you just like, you know, you like racism and you like being a bigot, then he might be your cup of tea. You might love that kind of content, you know? But that's the other thing too. It's like, you know, the people that are always like, you know, getting drunk and trying to start fights with people, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Or just overly aggressive people who just are angry at the world and just want to go off for the sake of going off. You know, it's like, give me a reason, brother. Give me one reason. You know what I mean? It's like, then that's your cup of tea. Then he's your cup of tea. You know? And I've said this in the past, but he kind of reminds me of a guy who cosplays as like he's military, but he's never been military in his life, but he got everything that's military. Everything's tactical on him. He's got tactical pants, and he's got the little flip knife that's on his side. You know what I mean? He's always strapped. So he's got one in the car. He's got one on the hip. He's driving one of those big ass trucks with the bullet for an antenna. You know exactly who I'm talking about. All right, those big ass trucks. They do CrossFit, so they go to the box and work out. They do a couple burpees and some thrusters, and suddenly all of us out of nowhere they think they're military. You know exactly who I'm talking about. There's plenty of those dudes, and that's him. That's Chud. All right. Yeah, I'm wearing camo, but I'm not sitting here saying like, brother, Semper Fi, brother. Like, I'm not doing that. You know? This is just fashion, baby. This is just fashion, baby. Okay. This is just fashion, baby. All right. But these dudes are going out here where, like, it's all tactical crap. All of it. Everything, every last thing that they have, from their hat all the way down to their shoes. It's like as if they're ready to go out off the grid. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They're ready for a hike in a mountainous area. You're like, what? You look like you're ready to go camping. Straight up tactical. Yep, straight up tactical. Okay? Real talk. You know? And he's one of those dudes. And there's probably some dudes that are watching his stuff being like, yeah, right, that's right, brother. And they're watching his stuff while they're cleaning up their 9, learning how to do it really fast, dismantle it, and hitting the timer. And go. A goose. You know what I'm saying? You know exactly what I'm talking about. All those guys. And they got the hat, like back the blue hat, but it's like it's got that Velcro flag. Like you could just rip it off and put something back on that hat, another one, but they never do. You know what I'm saying? And then you wonder, why did you get that Mother Loving hat in the first Mother Loving place? Because it's got a Velcro thing, but you never replace it. It's just a back the blue hat. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why you have it, man? Why you have that hat with the Velcro? You ain't taking you're not replacing the flag. You keep it on. You keep it on. So why do you have it? What's the Velcro there for, man? You ain't never changed it. You ain't never changed it, Chud. You ain't never changed it. You know exactly what I'm talking about, dagnabbit. Okay? They buy one firearm, and suddenly they're like, yep, yes, sir. We're ready to go, sir. Yep, Semper Fi, brother. Semper freaking Fi, brother. Like, yeah. I'm sorry. There's a lot of them out there, guys. I'm sorry. With all due respect, there's nothing wrong with it. And they all have the rap band sunglasses. It's the hat with the glasses, the sunglasses. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like they're ready to go shooting. No one sees this. No one sees this. Come on, look at it. Take a moment. Look at it. Look at it for a second. Look at it for a second. No, this is style, baby. I'm wearing camo. Yes, I am wearing camo. Oh my God. Huh. He's wearing camo. Whilst he is roasting the hell out of these people. Oh my God. Yeah, this is style, baby. Like rolled up sleeves and everything. Come on, man. This is style, baby. This ain't tactical. This is in no way, shape, or form tactical. Okay? But I'm talking about these other mother lovers. They all dress the same. It's kind of like they wear this medium shirt and the tactical pants and the shoes that they don't even need to buy those shoes. Real talk. But it's tactical. Head to toe. With the glasses that wrap around, the sunglasses that wrap around, they're black. They look like they're ready to just like, you know what I mean? Like John Wick something. Am I the only one who sees this? I watch too many people. That's the problem. I observe too many people. Okay? But it's fun. It's just fun. But every time, it's like they're ready to go. You know? The thing, you know, when they're grabbing their, you know, they're holding the I snorted. But you know exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Okay, come on. Okay, gotta love them. There's gotta be some of them in the world. Hey, if there's a zombie apocalypse, with all due respect, I'm standing right next to the tactical gear guy, because he probably has everything. Okay, and he probably the only one with a flint that could start a fire without a lighter. Okay? I'm just saying, I'm standing right next to him. I might be roasting the hell out of that dude right now. But if a zombie apocalypse happens, okay, this Ebola virus, you know, transforms into something more vicious and volatile, I'm standing right next to that mother lover. Okay? And I'm going to be like, you have another gun? Because you know for a fact he got the MREs in his crib too. He's sitting there going, well, this one got some tilapia, all right, and we got some jambalaya, and I got some hot sauce too, brother. He's my best friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm right next to him the entire time. Bow, headshot. I'm with him. Okay? So I can roast him all day long, but I love him too. You know what I'm saying? I love him too, because he gonna save my ass. Come on now. My computer concurs. He's like, he ain't wrong. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm roasting the hell out of him. But as soon as it hits the fan, I'm being like, yo, hey man, I see the tribal tattoo, even though you're not tribal at all. You white as hell, but what tribe are you from? That tribal tattoo all up your one arm, that sleeve, and the boots and the tactical pants. Yeah, you suited and booted. So yeah, where you going? You got a bunker where? Cause we coming. We coming. Yeah, I roasted you. Yeah, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What I lack in respect for you. I have a whole lot more in a witty personality. So we going with you, right? Oh, I got plenty of hot sauce too, bruh. That's it. That's it. But they are important in the world. Just remember. Yeah, it's the Ed Hardy. You know what I'm saying? It's the like the full-on sleeve. You know? Like it'll say like, I don't know. Something crazy. Die with your boots on. You know what I'm saying? It'll be like all on his, and it's all this crazy tribal stuff, and you're like, you're not tribal, though. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm done roasting. I'm sorry. You're not tribal, though. You're white. And no, that's not like Scottish tribal etchings. No, sir. That's just a wild tattoo. And no, you were never in the Marines. So what's up with these tattoos, sir? You know? Computer concurred again. I'm just saying, man. Thank you so much, Black Lake. I appreciate it. I'd let you and the fam stay in our bunker. We would definitely need the laugh. See, that's the thing. As hell is burning all around us, I would give great entertainment. What I lack in survival skills, I am overfloweth with humor. You see what I'm saying? And I can make a mean sandwich. So there it is. Just letting you know my job resume. Black Lake. Just letting you know. If we run out of bread, though, then we're screwed. Then I'm just giving you meat and cheese. But there you go. I make a mean sandwich. If there's bread. Okay. So we got one more thing. We're going to look at one more thing. Shall we? Okay. We shall. So let's talk about this. I don't know if you guys know about this this Krista Gilly case. Now, this is something that's very weird. This is something I meant to show you guys yesterday. I didn't get a chance to show it to you guys, but it is something I do want to talk to you guys about. Now, Krista Gilly was someone who was found unresponsive in her home. Okay, her husband is the alleged murderer. All right, he got something like a $1 million plus bond. He got out of prison. He posted bail, and then he just freaking kicked rocks. If I'm correct, he went out to Italy. He kicked rocks to Italy. And he's still sitting here saying that he didn't do it. Yeah. There's a little bit of a background thing that we're going to look at from Law and Crime, if I'm remembering correctly. But this case doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's clear to me that this guy, mother loving, did it. Okay, this piece of trash, Lee Gilly, all right, took the life of his wife. Absolutely. But he tried to make it seem like she did something else, that something tragic happened to her on her own time, if that makes any sense. And then when he was able to post bail, he kicked freaking rocks. And then he was caught in Europe. So this is the reason why this conversation in this case, is getting sparked back up again, because this mother lover got caught in Europe after he went out on the lam. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So Texas man who fled to Italy after arrest in pregnant wife's murder, pregnant wife, by the way, tells judge he's innocent. I'm sorry. If you didn't do it, why did you run? I don't care. If you're sitting there going, I can't do prison, man. I can't do prison, brother. No, you shouldn't have done that in the first place, though. And yeah, it's interesting. There's so much information about the Italy thing. Yeah, he a dirty dog. He definitely a dirty dog. So we're going to get into this. He's a piece of trash. He's still trying to get his hand in other people's cookie jars. That little scallywag. Let's get into this. So a Texas man who cut off his ankle monitor. That's the other thing, too. He cut off his ankle monitor and then he flew to Europe. He just ran, okay? Using a fake name and a passport after he was accused of taking his pregnant wife's life in 2024, told a courtroom in Italy that he is innocent. So Lee Gilly, dumbass of the week, who is seeking asylum in Italy, appeared Monday at the Palace of Justice for a hearing in connection with his May 3rd arrest in Milan. Turin Court of Appeals Judge Sturpos asked Gilly whether he consented to extradition to the U.S. or wanted the international protection application process to proceed. He says, I do not consent, Gilly said. Okay, this is what he told the judge before making unsolicited statements about his wife's demise. He says, my wife is dead and they wrongly blamed me. That's why I no longer have faith in the justice system. I am innocent. I did not kill my wife, he said. The only crime I committed was fleeing. I fled to avoid being killed. Huh? Okay. I went to great lengths to escape and seek protection in Italy. Here's the dumbass right here. Here's Lee and his innocent ass. Notice the sarcasm. Moving on. Gilly's wife, Krista, Gilly, 38, was found unresponsive in the couple's home in Houston on October 7th, 2024, after police received a call about a S word, okay? Officials said. She was pronounced gone at the hospital the following day, according to court documents. Hospital staff noticed bruising and apparent trauma to her face, police previously said. Her death was determined to be a homicide due to compression of the neck. An autopsy revealed that she was about 8 months pregnant at that actual time. Lee was then arrested a few days later, October 11th, 2024, on a charge of capital murder, but was released on bond days later. According to court documents, Gilly was scheduled to appear in Texas court later this month for trial. But on May 1st, he cut off his court-ordered GPS ankle monitor and he fled the freaking country. Yeah, he's a piece of work. Last week, Interpol Washington received information that Gilly had been apprehended and placed in immigration custody upon landing at Milan Malpensa Airport on an Air Canada flight. The court filing states that he had been traveling under the pseudonym Lejuan Jean-Jacques Oliver. What? Lejuan, hopefully I'm saying that right. Lejuan Jean-Jacques Oliver. And had used a passport and other Belgian identification documents which were found to be false and forged. Interesting. Yeah, what an interesting name, too. You couldn't have just gone with Jean-Luc, right? Jean-Luc, and just call it a day. But no, Lejuan Jean-Luc Oliver. Okay. While awaiting the deportation, Gilly disclosed his true identity and said he was awaiting a trial in the U.S. for the murder of his wife, according to these documents. In court Monday, he told the judge that he would like to remain in Italy because of the lifestyle, the culture, the international protection, and to receive a fair trial. So that's why he wanted to be in there. That's why he wanted to be in Italy. Okay. Do you want to move to another country? The judge asked. So he replied, I chose Europe because of its due process guarantees, and Italy because there is a strong public opposition to the death penalty. He then thanked the judge twice in Italian. Grazie, grazie, grazie. Moving on. The Ministry of Justice spokesperson told NBC News that Italian Justice Minister Carlo Nordio hasn't yet decided on the extradition. A spokesperson for the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said it is unlikely the minister will comment on the case and that the office has limited jurisdiction over Gilly because he's not an Italian citizen. An attorney for Krista Gilly's family said they were devastated to learn that Lee Gilly fled the country, and they look forward to his return to the U.S. to face trial. The family has grappled with the loss of Krista and has struggled to see the man accused of killing her free on bond while the legal system progressed for a year and a half at a trial that the defendant has now attempted to avoid. This is what the attorney said in a statement. So the attorney said for the family said the family is outraged by his claims, by Lee's claims of innocence. So Krista's family welcomes a trial based on the truth and evidence that will prove justice for Krista and her unborn child. Monica Grosso, an attorney for Lee Gilly, told NBC News that Gilly is, quote unquote, confident that he'll be able to obtain international protection from Italy. She also said that she will look into having Gilly released and she does not believe he will try to flee again because he has no documentation. We'll see about that. But nonetheless, this piece of trash is being alleged of doing the unthinkable to his wife, tried to stage it as if she tried to delete herself. And then he got bail, and then he kicked rocks. And yes, let's not forget, Miss Scusi, she was with a child as well. Yeah, guys, she was with child. So this piece of trash did what he did, and then he tried to run. And he was successful. He ran for a while. He's been on the... It's 2026, y'all. He's been kicking rocks this entire time. She was 8 weeks pregnant. She was 8 weeks pregnant, y'all. Let me just see this cross-reference. Let me cross-reference real quick. Where is that? I'm just trying to remember. 8 weeks pregnant. Yep. Just wanted to make sure that, because I didn't want to get the wrong information out. Okay. But we got to take a look at law and crime. This guy's a piece of trash. Okay. He's an absolute piece of trash. This woman was with child, whether he knew or not, doesn't matter. He still took the life of this woman, his wife, and his future child as well. And then he had the audacity to get fake paperwork, fake documents, a fake passport, so that he could be traveling all over the world. And he's been running. He's been on the run this entire time. How he got caught, that's something we're going to find out more information about, which is very interesting. This guy's a piece of trash because he was also out here trying to get laid, y'all. This piece of trash here, Lee, was also out here trying to get laid in these other countries. We're going to talk about it. Like to hear it? Here you go.
A twisted case out of Houston, Texas. A pregnant woman was found unresponsive inside her home, prompting her husband to call 911. But in a shocking turn, investigators say her death was staged to appear as if she died of a drug overdose. On October 7th, Krista Gilly and her husband Lee were at their home in Houston Heights, Texas, along with their 2 children. Around 11:30 that evening, Lee reportedly called 911 after finding Krista unresponsive.
I mean, just Captain Douchebag. I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
30 that evening,
Hold
Lee
on.
reportedly called.
Look at this guy. Why does he look like why does he look like an eraser at the end of a pencil? You know what I'm saying? He don't look like an eraser to you. Square looking ass. Moving on. Piece of trash. He trash. He trash, man.
911 after finding Krista unresponsive in bed and tried to perform CPR on his wife. He reportedly told 911 Krista, who was 9 weeks pregnant, overdosed and tried to kill herself. Krista was rushed to a local hospital. However, she was later pronounced dead. Doctors and the medical examiner were seemingly puzzled by Lee's account of how Krista died. According to officials, Krista had bruising and trauma to her face, and the injuries to her body were inconsistent with CPR. Then the doctor and medical examiner made a shocking revelation. They declared Krista's injuries were consistent with strangulation and ruled her death as a homicide. Lee would end up coming clean to investigators, telling them his wife wasn't suicidal or a drug user. Investigators also determined the couple had been fighting prior to Krista's death. Lee reportedly told police they had fought earlier in the evening and he had gone to sleep. And when he woke up, he found his wife unresponsive.
I mean, he is the only person that has a head shaped like that. Do you understand? He's the only person. Like, I could pick him out in a room. I'd be like, look for the human embodiment of a rectangle. Like, look at his head. You can see it from space. It's a mother-loving rectangle, man. And it doesn't matter. He probably, if he would shave his head, he still probably looks like a mother-loving rectangle, man. I'm sorry. I don't mean to get triggered. I just don't like bad people. Okay? I don't like bad people who do bad things. And he definitely did this. Why would you rock? Why would you run? I'm sorry. Why would you go out on the lam? He did this. He apparently was putting his paws on his wife. His wife was 8 weeks, some places say 9 weeks pregnant. Yeah, Roblox head. Come on now. You feel me? Why was he born 8-bit? You see what I'm saying? Like, why was he born in 8-bit? What's going on here, man? Like, he just came out of an Atari game. You know what I'm saying? The head. That is a 7 head. That's a 7 head. Not even a 4 head, a 7 head. Okay, and he's still got a whole head of hair. Holy cow. You could land on that forehead. Okay, I'm done. I don't like bad people. It's a Rubik's Cube. You know, I love y'all. Oh, you're making my day right now. Thank you. You see what I'm saying? A Tetris block, man. Come on now. Come on, baby. Come on, everybody. Come on. Keep them coming. Okay? Keep them coming. All right? I don't like bad people. When they're bad, we roast. Okay? That's why we roast D4vd. That's why we roasted the hell out of pig vomit. That's why we roasted Coco. Okay? Brian Koberger. All right? And this is exactly why we talk about 7 head. All right? Exactly why we talk about Roblox, Minecraft, whatever the hell you want to call it, 8-bit. We gonna call him 8-bit. That's what it is. 8 mother-loving bit. Piece of trash. Anyway, moving on. He did this, guys. If you didn't do it, you stay and you fight. Okay, Mario Brothers bricks. Come on, man. Come on now. Okay, see, this is why I love y'all. Woo. Yes. Stonehenge head. Yes. Exactly. Thank you. Stonehenge head. All right. I'm sorry, but 8-bit is trash. Okay? This is exactly what he get. Gumby head. There we go. But it's not slanted. You know what I'm saying? This is Gumby when his hair is fully grown. He didn't get a chance to get the haircut yet. So yeah, okay. I hate this. I don't like when people are bad like this. Okay. So again, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop. Okay. But yeah, 8-bit. Dude named 8-bit. Okay. We ain't even at 16-bit. We old school Atari 8-bit right here. Okay. I feel so much better now, don't you? Yeah, Max Headroom looking ass. Come on now. You know what I mean? I think you did this 8-bit. Okay. Okay, I'm done. Nobody remember Max Headroom? Nobody? You know what I'm saying? Okay, we gonna continue going though. Okay, you can see it from space. Have mercy. Moving on.
4 days after her death, he would end up being booked into the Harris County Jail. Lee's alleged actions have reportedly left their entire family in mourning.
Johnny Bravo looking ass. Okay, moving on. I'm done. I'm serious. I'm done. I swear. I'm done. We're moving on. We're moving on.
The horrific slaying comes 7 years after the two got married. According to their wedding announcement, Krista and Lee met during their senior year at Clemson. After their first date, the two didn't have another date again until 8 years later when they reconnected. Lee was seemingly the romantic at the time. According to the announcement, he flew from San Diego to Houston to surprise his then girlfriend with a proposal. According to LinkedIn, the murder suspect was the founder of a software consulting company called Doc Mo. Meanwhile, Krista had her doctorate in physical therapy. She reportedly worked at a local hospital with cardiovascular and pulmonary patients and was an adjunct professor at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston. Her family, through an attorney, issued a heartbreaking statement after her death, writing, quote, "Krista's family is devastated by her tragic death and the death of her unborn child. Krista was an amazing mother, full of love and excited to welcome her third child. They were taken from the world needlessly and way too early. Krista's family appreciates the outpouring from the community and hopes for justice for their daughter and their unborn grandchild. They are here to support Krista's children and to focus on the memory of their daughter." Now, years after Krista and Lee's beautiful nuptials, Lee remains in custody, facing a capital murder charge, leaving their children without a mother and now a father. Let's bring on attorney Melba Pearson to talk about this case further. Now, Melba, sadly, this is a case we've seen far too often. A man accused of killing their wife. But in this case, officials suspect Lee Gilly killed his wife, Krista, by strangulation. What's your reaction to this case?
Just intense sadness. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So for her to lose her life, in this time and in this manner is just another painful reminder that we're not past this issue yet. And the fact that he strangled her really shows that anger and that up close and personal interaction, which just makes it even more terrifying and violent. I mean, you can sadly imagine her last moments looking at the man that she loved and whose child she was pregnant with, and realizing that she's going to lose her life at the hands of someone she loves. So it's, my question always goes to whether or not there were missed signs, whether or not there's been a history of violence between the two, police reports or prior police responding to the home or to wherever the two of them were. If she ever told friends or loved ones that she was being abused, showed up to work or showed up in public with unexplained bruises and that sort of thing. So I always wonder about the intervention aspect and whether or not there were opportunities to save her life.
Like you mentioned,
my assumption or my theory, because we don't know anything yet, but my theory is that there's a history of violence here. That there's always been a history of violence and things just got volatile, crazy, out of hand. I don't think that this is a situation where he just out of nowhere just put his paws on his wife like this. I think this was a history like a history of DV, exactly, classic, a history of DV that just slowly became more and more intense as time went on, right? And I forgot how many years they were married for, but that could escalate quickly, or it could just be over time. And I'm sure he's the guy who would be like, it's never going to happen again, baby. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. It'll never happen again. I'm so sorry with my 8-bit ass. You know what I mean? But he still continues to do so. And she keeps forgiving him and giving him another chance over and over and over again, right? Now, that's not to shame her. I'm just saying, just facts. This is what happens behind closed doors when it comes to DV, or it starts with verbal abuse that slowly but very quickly, or slowly but surely, very surely turns into physical abuse, right? So again, very, very sad. Let me play a little bit more. We're going over to Brian Enton because he got some more information over there too. So we got to talk about that as well. Let's hear a little bit more of this.
Is such a personal crime. And while we don't know much at this time, is there anything that does signal to you that this wasn't a first-time instance of domestic abuse? Or do you think that Lee may have just snapped in that moment?
Generally, I don't give a lot of credence to the "you just snapped and kill your spouse" argument. I think that happens in maybe rare circumstances, but that to me is not the norm. For you to escalate to the point that you're actually putting your hands on your partner, that's very rarely a first-time thing that results in death. It's usually something you've done multiple times before, and you may have stopped just short of killing your partner.
I just have to point this out. His whole head is underneath that 10-gallon hat. Like, it fit perfectly. The entire forehead is inside that hat. There is no space inside that hat. If we were able to X-ray that hat right now, it would just be his whole forehead. This Eddie Munster looking ass. Okay? Frankenstein looking ass. All right? Whole 10-gallon hat filled with his whole head. I'm sorry, I'm done. I'm done. I just don't like bad people. I don't like bad people. I apologize. But bad guys will always get roasted on this show because that's exactly what they deserve. This guy ran. That is, I did it. Spoken in so many different languages. Just so you know, you don't need to say grazie, grazie, grazie. You don't have to say that. Okay? You don't. You don't. Just so you know. You don't. Real quick, JLK, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the love. That hat got to fit the state of Texas. Yeah, that whole head. That whole head. Okay? Everything's big and, but his head, though, fills the whole hat. No space in there. All right? No space up in there. Monster. Okay, I'm done with the. I'm sorry. I'm done with the roasting. But bad guys deserve it. I'm not roasting innocent people. I'm not roasting the wife. May she rest in peace. But he's getting his right now because this guy's a monster. Let me play a little bit more, and then we got to go to Brian Enton right quick. That's the whole head up in there. Whole head up in there. Tell you what, whole head up in that 10-gallon hat right there. You understand? Moving on. Why are you wearing the hat?
For that very reason, you see statutes around the country that speak to battery by strangulation, where you strangle someone, but it's not to the point that you can really say it's an attempted murder. But it does speak to the complicated, I guess, web, it's probably the best way to talk about, of domestic violence and that battered person syndrome and the circle of violence and how it escalates and then calms down and then escalates again. So that battery by strangulation charge is one that speaks to this type of behavior before it amounts to an actual homicide.
I think the whole cover-up aspect of this case is pretty interesting. Lee called 911, told the dispatcher his wife attempted suicide by overdosing and he was performing CPR on her. Outside of trying not to get caught, do you think that he planned this excuse and this was premeditated? Or do you think this was kind of a spur-of-the-moment reaction after he allegedly strangled her to be like, oh my goodness, let me call 911, pretend it's an overdose, and they'll just go from there? What are your thoughts on it?
I don't think that this was premeditated. And if it was, and that's the best you could come up with, that's really sad. But again, the reality is when people end up in a situation where they've killed someone, they don't account for the adrenaline. They don't account for all of these other aspects. It doesn't go as smoothly as you would see in a crime drama on television. It's a real world and an intense situation, and you never quite know how you're going to react. You may think or plan that you may act one way, but when the reality, sets in that I could go to prison for the rest of my life for this, suddenly you start to spiral and, okay, let me clean up the scene really quickly, but you leave the bloody rag in the laundry basket, that type of thing. So I don't see that he may have necessarily premeditated this, but once he struck out and harmed his wife, he was like, oh, this is a problem. How am I going to cover this up? And the first thing he could think of was, well, maybe if I can make it look like an accident or like a suicide, I can escape liability. I don't think he really thought that through. And again, the autopsy report made it very clear that she did not die by an overdose, that it was by strangulation, and that she had a trauma to her face and her head and to her body that was consistent with a domestic violence incident. So there was no way he was going to be able to cover that up, period.
So again, what's interesting is that he said, oh yeah, she took substances and that's how she perished. That's how she passed on. But then the autopsy told a totally different story. They said that he basically said, oh, I was performing CPR on her, trying to revive her, blah, 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 only to find out that that wasn't true at all either, that he was lying, that there were, her body, the autopsy told a completely different story. So he was lying throughout the entire thing, saying one thing, but really, he was really doing something else. And yes, I agree that something obviously happened where her life was taken, and then suddenly out of nowhere, he took her life, and he's like, oh crap. Now I got to figure out what I got to do. What do I got to do to cover this up so I don't look like it, so it doesn't look like I did it, right?
Personal death.
And that is just what's so sad about this whole situation. Now, let me get to Brian Enton, because he also covered this the other day. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this show. Please do me a favor, though. Can we get the likes up? That would be greatly, greatly appreciated, okay? Hit the like button down below. Don't forget to do that. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe. All right? Subscribe. Please and thank you. But, of course, we're going to be listening to a little bit of Brian Enton, a little sped up so we can cover a lot of ground in a very short amount of time. So let's rock and roll, okay? Don't forget to subscribe, y'all. All right, let's go.
So thanks for bearing with me in this episode, but I wanted to get this episode out because I've been working on it for a couple days, and again, it's just such a disturbing story. Lee Gilly is accused of killing his pregnant wife, a woman named Krista Bauer Gilly. So this happened back in 2024, and I'm going to get you to why this is such a big story right now in this moment. He was out on bond. He was out on $1 million bond, which I was just talking with one of my producers today. I had never heard of this before. I mean, accused of killing his pregnant wife, being out on bond awaiting trial. Normally people would be in jail awaiting trial for a charge that serious. So that alone is very interesting. But
yeah,
he was out on bond. He allegedly cut off his ankle monitor, and then was able to get away, flew to Italy using a fake name.
Italy.
Apparently had like a phony passport, the whole thing. So I'm going to get into that part in a second, but let me just go back for a second and kind of give you guys the backstory here. Prosecutors allege that Gilly had an affair with a woman in California. Okay, he was married, but they're alleging that he had an affair with a woman in California the year before he killed his wife, that he posted on Reddit that he was, quote, bored in his marriage, that he was seeking a college-aged female for a friends with benefit arrangement. And then investigators say back on October 7th, 2024, Gilly himself called 911 to say that his wife, Krista, had taken her own life through a drug overdose in their house. And he claimed that he tried to save her life. Keep in mind,
which we already know is a bold-faced lie. So he was on the internets trying to get laid, trying to find people to do like, you know, friends with benefits, no strings attached type thing, blah, blah, blah. While he's complaining online how, you know, his marriage is boring, that maybe it is a hibbity-dibbity less relationship, right? It's a sexless marriage. Sans hibbity-dibbity. Maybe, I don't know. But one thing's for sure, he was complaining about it online and also trying to get him some of that good on the internet. Yeah, he's a piece of trash. Absolutely. Hence the reason why we're calling him 8-bit.
and she was 9 weeks pregnant, which is just one of the awful parts of this story. So he calls 911. He claims that he tried to save her life. She's 9 weeks pregnant. There's a whole investigation, obviously. Something doesn't smell right to investigators. The medical examiner eventually ruled her death a homicide and decided that it was caused by compression of the neck and back. And then Gilly was arrested on a capital murder charge in the death of his wife and their unborn baby. Just awful. She also reportedly had bruising and trauma to her face, according to some reports. So arrested, charged with killing his wife and unborn baby, gets out on bond, $1 million bond. He had to surrender his passport. He had to wear an ankle monitor. And then he ends up getting away, getting on a plane, and manages to get to Italy. So let me read you a little bit of the federal complaint. First part of it talks about the capital murder arrest. Says on October 7, 2024, at approximately 11:31 p.m., officers assigned to the Houston Police Department Central Patrol Division responded to a call for service, 816 Alston Street, Houston, Texas. That's where they live. The call was made by Lee Gilly, stated that his pregnant wife, Krista Gilly, was non-responsive. Houston Fire Department medics transported the victim to the hospital. She was pronounced dead. The forensic sciences determined the victim's cause of death was due to compression of the neck and upper back, I was telling you guys. And then he's arrested for felony offense of capital murder. And then May 29, 2026, he cut off his court-ordered GPS ankle monitor, according to this complaint. And the Harris County District Attorney's Office requests the assistance of other officials to try to figure out where he is. There's an Interpol situation that comes up, which those are the people who track the federal criminals. They receive an alert that he is in Rome, and on May 3rd, 2026, that he's in Rome traveling under the name Lejeune Jean-Luc Olivier, that he had landed at Milan airport on an Air Canada flight, that he presented a passport and other Belgian identification documents to the Milan border police, which were found to be false and forged. And he was rejected entry at the airport and taken into immigration custody. So it's interesting that first of all, that he was able to get on the flight out with a fake passport. But they caught it when he got to Italy. Immigration caught it, and that's when this whole situation unraveled for him. He thought he was going to get away. He then, according to this, admitted that his true identity was Lee Gilly and that he was awaiting trial in the U.S. for murder of his wife. He was charged with trying to flee. And he's still in Italy right now. So that was the specific federal indictment for that piece of this, him being in Italy. People Magazine reports that and this is a little bit of the timeline here, they're reporting that between April and May 2025, the prosecutors alleged in this pretrial court filing that Gilly communicated with the woman he's alleged to have had an affair with, the one that I was telling you about from a year before his wife died, that he was talking to her about plans to flee to other countries and that he discussed how to remove his ankle monitor. He also raised the possibility of marriage to obtain a new identity and asked whether she knew of a Mexican identity he could assume to escape the U.S., and that's according to prosecutors. So apparently he also considered going to Mexico before he went to Italy.
Hold on. A Mexican... okay, no, don't get me wrong. There are Caucasian Mexicans out there. There are. But that is the wildest thing to be like, how can I get a Mexican ID? What? You really think that they're not going to look at you when you're like trying to cross the border and they're looking at your ID and it says like, I don't know, it says something like Javier or like Jorge or Gustavo? You know what I'm saying? Like El Jefe? You know what I mean? Like it's like you don't think they're going to be like you see what I'm saying? Julio, yeah, Julio, Jesus. You see what I'm saying? Like real talk. Pedro Pascal, but he doesn't look Caucasian, you know. So El Gringo. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, so to me, it's like, wait a second. Because there is not one drop. There is not one drop of Mexican in you, sir. Okay. Excuse me, 8-bit. Are you sure you really want to come through with this ID, sir? Mr. Gustavo Rodriguez. You really want to go through with this, sir? You sure? Oh, okay. Okay. No way, Jose. There's 1,000,000 to 1 chance of you getting in here with that ID. You know what I'm saying? But moving on.
I mean, she was pregnant and she was murdered, according to investigators. So this escape has been devastating to the family, according to their attorney. They have an attorney named Tim Ballingy. He says the Bowers are profoundly disappointed by the breakdown of the system. They were hoping to have the trial and to have him held accountable. And when he says breakdown of the system, that likely includes the fact that this guy was even out on $1 million bond, which if he wasn't out, he wouldn't have been able to escape to Italy. At a hearing in Italy, Gilly professed his innocence to a judge. He pleaded for asylum. He said, quote, "I ran away to avoid being killed and to escape the relentless media persecution." He said, in part, "I worked very hard to escape and request protection in Italy." So he's now requesting protection and does not want to be extradited back to the United States. He said, "I did not kill my wife. I fled because I was afraid of being killed." So really just an awful and unique case on several levels. First of all, just the awfulness of the crime itself, but then the fact that he was able to get out on bond and then flee to Italy. I want to talk to criminologist Casey Jordan about all of this.
Yeah. So again, it's just interesting that there's a lot of information that was also unearthed before he actually kicked rocks about him having conversations with side pieces and other people on how he could get the ankle monitor taken off of him, how he was planning on kicking rocks, how he wanted to get some fake IDs. I guess he was looking to try to go south of the border instead of going to a place like Italy or anywhere else. But still, no matter what, he was successful. He was able to pack up his stuff, cut off that ankle monitor, and kick rocks to a whole other country. And he was gone for a while, too. Like I said, he disappeared in 2024, and then he just got found this year. So this isn't like this some wild, thing where he just ran and he was found within weeks or within days. No, this was a long time. So this is and I'm sorry, but 8-bit, if you want to sit there and have people believe that you are innocent, you don't pack up your stuff and kick rocks. Now, he's sitting there saying he was worried about them trying to kill him or something like that. Who trying to kill you? Unless you're looking at the DP, unless you're looking at the death penalty, I don't see how anybody is out here trying to take his life unless it was people in jail basically saying, "I see you, boy. We about to take your ass." You know what I mean? And I can see that. 8-bit doesn't want to get played like that, like the Atari looking ass that he is. But at the same time, I can see him being worried about that for sure. But he packed up his stuff and ran, and he had bail. He got out on bail. So here's the thing: if he was really worried about his life being taken, if it was he was fearful of what would happen to him when he goes back into prison, he was still free. If it wasn't the outside world threatening to take his life, then he was fine. He got bail. But instead he said, "Nah, I gotta go kick rocks." Jean-Luc Olivier, you know what I mean? weird stuff, y'all. Real stuff. Okay? You blaming this dude for the sickness? Yeah, look at his head. Everything is his fault. Like everything. 8-bit, everything's your fault, homie. Now you're going to get what you get. This is what you're going to get. And leave those cowboy hats alone. But guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Everything's his fault. The Ebola virus outbreak, the hantavirus, everything. It's all his mother-loving fault. Okay? Him just breathing in our general direction is a problem. Okay? But Wanda, thank you so much. Let me grab this here really quick before we... Thank you so much for being a member for the past 18 months. Oh, my Lord. Thank you. Times have changed. People don't want to get involved anymore because they could be questioned or accused. Yep, that is true. I wish I could expand on that a little bit more, but I might have to talk about that a little bit later or another time. But you are right. People are scared because the internet is crazy. True crime sleuths can get a little nutty and things get a little crazy when people's names and likeness gets dragged into those cases, right? So I get it. People are fearful. And I understand why. But I'll always say this. If you see something, say something. If you know something, keep telling 5-0 until they actually do something about it. And if they don't, then go to the internet and start talking, blasting that stuff out. Let people know what's going on so that people like Celeste Rivas can be rescued before things get worse. Just saying. But 8-bit, he's going down. We'll see what happens with that for sure. But again, guys, I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. Before we head out, please do me the solid. All right, hit that like button down below. Crush it, do it, do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. Please and thank you. Go and check out my, don't forget to subscribe here, okay, on my YouTube channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there as well. Hit that notification bell on both channels so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it is random. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, so take some time to take a look at that website. PascalMerch.com. Also, please, guys, please, if you can, with the dog skit, if it made you laugh, if it made you chuckle, please share it. Share it amongst your friends and stuff. Please and thank you. That would be amazing. Love to see some eyeballs on it, and more will come very, very soon. All right, guys. It is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Stay safe out there, and we'll be talking here very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.